It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking. SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vagina. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today. Lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose. 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 You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here, and so from now on, I am going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories.
Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose. 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 It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Exposed. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking. SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vagina. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today. Lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose. 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 You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you.
What's up, everybody?
Expose you.
How
What is up,
the
ladies and
hell
gentlemen?
are you?
I am completely completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still
Let me turn off the
Dudes who got
intro
some scares here, and so from now
There
on,
we
I'm
go.
going to report the news.
Turn off
Let's
the music.
go.
We have a super chat cherry popper in the room. We got Peyton Loutz here in there too. Papa, did you get the soundbite? I haven't even checked my damn DMs. In terms of the... No, that's not true. I haven't checked the ones that where there's a request. So, you got Hollow Knight. Actually, Hollow Knight's pretty good from what I've played of it. So, yes, Bloodstain, someone else asked a question. Bloodstain, yeah, I would say it's a good one. Bloodstain's good. It's a good game. I would say the Switch port's the weakest port, but it's still good now. I mean, it runs at 30. That's the only downside to it. Yes, I got my tiny seltzer cans back. By the way, I did. Man, let me fucking tell you something about New York. Now, I'm 100% think climate change is real. I think it's dire that we do something about it. I think there's many things that need to be done. I think there needs to be more jobs that are made of... I can't even think of the word right now, but you get my point, okay? I'm pro-science, pro-climate change, not pro... I believe that climate change is a thing, and I am pro trying to protect the environment. Okay? Just want to put that out there. Let me see if I can talk today. But I understand that plastic bags are bad. I've seen the giant mound of shit that's in the middle of the ocean. But here is what New York State does. So you can't have plastic bags anymore. Okay. That's fine. I get it. But what they do is they give you these paper bags, which I would be fine with. But the paper bags would disintegrate if you farted on the fucking things. So I go grocery shopping, and I was out doing a whole bunch of other shit. And in the bag, there was like 2 different bottles. I'm not, it wasn't like it was overpacked, and it was double paper bagged, which to me is like, how many trees have to be fucking cut down to make these goddamn bags? Like, paper comes from wood, wood comes from trees have to be cut down to make the paper. Doesn't sound really environmentally friendly to me. I fuck those canvas bags. You know why I fuck those canvas bags? I have them. I have plenty of them. You know what happens is, you bring the stuff in. Well, since I've stuck my dick in absolutely no one except my baby's mom in the past, like, over half a decade, I don't think it's yours. Wait, there's no sound. There is no sound. Am I in the wrong headset here? Oh, that's the desktop audio. Why am I not hearing it? Oh, that's why. There we go. BenQ. Let's try it again. I have 2 beautiful cocks on my table. There we go. Now I gotta change it here. Technical issues, ladies and gentlemen. Technical issues. Now, I have a small penis. Okay. And this is... Try that again. There we go. Better, better, better. So, anyway. So these bags suck. So what I did is... Shout out to coffee. Coffee is delicious, and I have some here. So in that bag, I have the pre-made, unsweetened Starbucks coffee, and I had a glass thing of... I like kombucha, okay? I like it a lot, actually. And I bought a thing of that. It was glass. It actually didn't end as bad as you're thinking, but it still ended pretty bad. The glass thing, the bag, just like... It didn't rip. Like, oh, Rich, you had too much stuff in it. Like, it disintegrated. It ripped from the bottom. It ripped out of my hand, and it wasn't even overpacked. And all of a sudden, the coffee, which is in plastic, exploded on the floor. It didn't just, like, spill. It was like I ripped open the container like a gorilla just to let all of the coffee explode all over. So, needless to say, I had to decon my entire fucking kitchen. And, I mean, I went back and got a new, I explained it to them. They're like, oh yeah, the bags suck. Like, they were really nice. It had nothing to do with they aren't making the bags. It's just such a scheme, and you have to spend 5 cents more on the bags. And then if you want to use the reusable bags, it's a pain in the ass. You got to buy the bags. Then after you're done with them, you have to either keep them in your car. And it's just like, a lot of trees are being cut down for these garbage bags. Like, what? Just, either way, it can't be great for the environment. I have reusable bags, but the problem is that I bring them in and I try to remember to bring them back in the car, but I don't always do it. And again, I didn't go back. I wasn't rude when I went back. I didn't act entitled. They did exchange it. They were very nice. But god damn, man. I have reusable bags too. I have them too. But so that was fun. So holy shit, I blinked for a second and a billion. I've decided I don't give a fuck that I have a good gaming. I'm getting an Xbox Series X next year and keeping it in the living room. Yeah, why not, dude? I have a PC and an Xbox. I have a PC and a PS5. I have a PC and a Switch. It's about gaming. And the more, with how little time I have to do it, the more platforms and the more options I have, the better. You know what I mean? So finally got my hands on a 3080 Ti for Micro Center. They charged me $2,000. Why so much? That's a lot, unless it was like one of those specialty cards. THC is kicking in. It's been a long fucking day, man. Do my chickens have digital rights management? He has Denuvo, and he has games for Windows Live because he's living in the past. He's a bird that won't come out of the past, Steve. He's a bird that's stuck in 2009. Fuck games for Windows Live, though. It's terrible. People will toss trash on the floor when there's a garbage can. That's why I think we will never... And there's too much greed. There's too many people that are... politicians and elected officials that are bought by the corporations that don't give a fuck about the people. They give a fuck about profits and will do whatever they can. They don't care if the entire environment and our children's generation are fucked. They're driving their Maseratis around. I was in a live stream talking about veganism and I got ran off when I mentioned in the chat that I work for in the poultry business. I'm proud of what I do. We don't abuse animals. I just do my... Yeah, and I have all the respect for you in the world, man. I have no, like, we've been slaughtering animals since human beings existed. You know, it's like, and I have no issue with someone being vegan or vegetarian. You know? Now, if you want to get into the argument that, you know, with how much meat we consume is that it does have a big impact on the environment, yes. But do I like a motherfucking filet mignon? Oh, fuck yeah. You know? Yes, I was going to talk about it today. I've been liking, though, Google Fish, keeping my, like, the 2 videos a day with the streams, man, is plenty. I like the fact that I don't inundate my subscribers with content. I don't spam their feeds, especially with the 2 different channels now. It works really well. So unless there's like a major super big story, which has happened a few times fairly recently too, where we're just like, shit, like, I'm like, oh man, we're all done with work for the day, and my editor's like, oh man, we're all done with work for the day, and like all of a sudden something huge popped up and we're like, all right, I'll go turn the camera on. So yeah, Google Fish. I did hear about that. Probably would have gotten more views than the story I did on. But that story with Ubisoft was interesting, though. That was from today, right? Ubisoft? No, that was from yesterday. What the hell did I talk about today? Oh, DRM. But I'm more impassioned about the story because I fucking hate DRM with a passion, and it does absolutely nothing. Google Fish. It does not a fucking thing to stop piracy. If anything, it accelerates it. And I don't know how the investors and the corporate suits and the upper brass at these corporations don't see that. But they're too blinded by greed to have common sense. Get this about Apple. iPhone 13 screens have a small chip. When replaced, you have to use an Apple's sponsored device so the chip can pair with this. Oh yeah, that's because they don't want anyone repairing them except Apple. Yeah, and Apple is the only one that makes the screens. And yeah, Rich, love that thumbnail. Thank you. But yeah, Michael, they know they're pieces of shit. They don't care about the right to repair bill. They just want to corner you, so you have to go to them to get it. I had to turn all my clocks back an hour. By the time I got my last clock, my ass turned to jello. Tourette's guy. Dude, I've watched all of his shit. I know like 90% of it like, I always remember it was in 2008 and I broke up with my ex at the time. I broke it off with her. That was an interesting time in my life. I'll let you know something right now. Life lesson for all of you out there. If you're new to relationships, whether you're breaking up with somebody or you are broken up with, it sucks equally either way. He's like, yeah, man, I know you're in a bad mood. So here's this guy who, I don't know if he really has Tourette's or not, but he's funny as fucking hell. So watch him. And I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. And that's my love for Tourette's guy has been astronomical ever since then. I went to Michigan with my fiance and I was shocked at the plastic bag and the lady said they had paper and I was like, fine, I was just shocked. Yeah. And dude, look, I'm all about caring for the environment. I believe that I have had more floods in my fucking basement in the past like year than I've had in the past 15. Like, climate change is real, okay? But I don't see how cutting down a bunch of trees to make shitty bags is better for the environment than plastic. If anything, if you really want to incentivize people, have neither. Be like, you bring your own bags, or it's like when you go to those like those places like BJ's and stuff like that where they give you no bags. Just give no bags. This is the second time I've been fucked by Dairy Queen. Sean McCarthy coming through. That's another great line. Second time I've been fucked by Dairy Queen! So that's not my thing. I want my plastic bags. I don't care. But no, that's not what I'm about. Believe me, that's not what I'm even insinuating. But it's kind of like cutting down trees ain't really helping the issue too much. Why don't you just make it that people have no choice but to bring their own shit like the BJ's and the Sam's Club do? I joined the Extreme 2. Dude, it did explode all over though. Not my penis. It wasn't even like, it wasn't just a spill. Cardboard boxes I could see, Katie. Cardboard boxes I could see. It was like a explosion of just, and thank God it wasn't sweetened. I never get the sweetened iced coffee. Like once in a while I do, but generally I don't. Oh God. Cause it was like I had to decon my kitchen, man. I had to decon my fucking kitchen. Hey, Rich, it's true that Travis Scott is at your house hiding under Steve. Oh, yeah. It's right here. He hides in that bird all the time. Dude, I know, I'm not just saying my basement flooding is scientific evidence that there's climate change, but there is plenty of scientific evidence that there's climate change from countless sources. It's not even just like, it's there. You know, someone's like, "Oh, Rich is saying climate change." I mean, it's confirmed because of yes, that's it. I go by. I only live in my bubble, and that's what I go by with everything. I know you're half kidding. I think anyway. Yeah, Ted Cruz is a fucking asshole. I've known he's a fucking asshole since even before like MAGA and anything. He's always been him and his dad too. His dad's a fucking psycho too. That's the thing the corporations do. They make climate change a personal issue when it's them doing the most polluting. Also, Cox and RCR. What is RCR? Well, I give you this. I know what regular car reviews. I know what you're saying. Okay. Hey, Rich, because of you, I bought Dusk on Seams. Very fun game. Can you play some more? Possibly. I almost wasn't going to stream again tonight, but I was like, I'm a miserable fuck, so... Because that coffee put me in a fucking... Thank God it didn't spill in my car. And thank God it didn't spill... It wasn't sweetened and spilled on my floor. Update. My cat stole my 3080 Ti and charged me $1,200 and a jar of catnip for it back. Your cat's a hustler, man. I'm proud of your cat. PS5 or Series X, if you had to recommend. I have both, but I've been using my Series X, which is weird because I have been PS for 15 years. I kind of think that it's kind of down to you, man. It depends on what kind of games you want to play, and it depends on what you're going to take advantage of. If you see a lot of games on Xbox Game Pass, and that's going to suit you, and the top of it you just pay a monthly fee or a monthly subscription, and you're happy with the selection that's there, yeah, I would say that's the way to go. But if you like Sony's exclusives, I would say that's the way to go. But the way things are looking right now, Sony's bringing a lot of their exclusives to fucking PC, if that Nvidia leak is accurate. So I don't even know if, like, the thing at the end of the day is that video games are going to become a service, not a physical platform. So which platform would suit you best, you know? And maybe actually E3 presentations would sound kind of interesting too. Remember Secure ROM? Yes. Not Star Force. I don't remember that one, but Secure ROM, yes. De Novo looks like free healthcare compared to... Oh, dude. And games for Windows Live was... I think I told this story in the YouTube video I did about it. Yeah, I did. I'm 100% sure I did, but I'll tell it here again. For those of you who didn't watch. I got Batman Arkham Asylum. This is still when I was buying physical games on PC. Yeah, that's how long ago that was. And I got it for my PC, and I brought it home, and due to Games for Windows Live, it would not run. There was some issue where Games for Windows Live, I tried to get updates for it, wouldn't update, installed it, uninstalled it, reinstalled. There was some issue with Games for Windows Live, and I've read online it was an issue, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. This, like, DRM right now is stopping me from... So I went back to GameStop, and they're like, oh, wow. Like, usually they don't let you bring back open games of any kind, but because I just wanted the game, and I'm like, look, I just want to play the game. I don't know what to do. It won't work on my PC. They gave me the 360 version. So yeah, DRM is shit. It's absolute fucking hot garbage. I buy a lot of PC games from GOG because of DRM. Yeah, that's a good option. And like I said, they still don't say what you want to about CD Projekt Red and how much they fucked up the launch of Cyberpunk, which they did. They're still very anti-DRM, and I applaud them for it. Wait, there's papers. I've never had a paper fucking straw in my life. There are paper straws. That's sad. Paper straw, like, how does it even work? Like, as soon as your lips hit it, it probably fucking disintegrates. I like how you limp rods in my mouth. RTU does kisses birds. I always kiss. You can't see this on DSP. RTU takes shirt off. You can't see this on DSP. RTU does. You're doing the RTU does. You can't do this with Philip B. RTU does. RTU does. RTU does. RTU. There you go. Can I beat the hell? I don't know about what we're getting to tonight in terms of content, but yes, I can beat the hell out of the fart bug. Wait, and they're wrapped in plastic, the paper straws? Like, all right, I'm not a scientist, and I'm sure there probably is some benefits to that. Kind of seems a little counterintuitive, doesn't it? That's what I hear. Funny, I bought Cyberpunk from day one. I still haven't played it. I've been playing Vanguard on my Series S with the projector. And you know what, that projector, for a projector, the lag is like it feels pretty much just as good as like an average TV with a game mode. It's really actually pretty responsive, but I do feel, especially now, because I think my Series S is only, I have it hooked up to my capture card here, so that can only do 1080p 60, and on the projector it's 720p 60. It actually looks better than 720p, but it's only 720p. But on the Series S, you could actually now play Vanguard, I believe, at 120 if your TV or monitor supports it, 120 hertz. So I'm sure I'm getting, like now, especially because the Series S is 120 capable with the newest Call of Duty, I'm getting, look, I suck at Call of Duty. I will be the first to admit that, so I'm not making excuses. Here is my excuse. I will be the first to admit that I suck dick at the game. But I could tell, too, that it's like, oh yeah, it's probably I'm dealing with a little lag right now, huh? But man, but generally there's, the lag is a non-issue with that Nebula capsule too, man. It's actually really impressive. What a relaxing way at the end of the day, because what I have is a Switch box, and I have my Nintendo Switch. I have a dock there, and I put my Switch in. I have a PS5 and a Series S hooked up to an HDMI Switch box, which then goes to the Nebula capsule too, so I could just chill in bed after a long day and play some games and get my ass handed to me in Call of Duty Vanguard. April 22nd, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it for the PC. God of War Ragnarok, I'm looking for, or not Ragnarok, I'm looking forward to the 2018 God of War on the PC. I'm looking forward to Ragnarok. I'm looking forward to it, man. I like what Santa Monica puts out. I do. So, but God, look, that I am not sponsored in any way by Nebula. They sent me out one to review the Star Wars version of the capsule. I can't recommend that fucking thing enough. Is it gonna, would I buy it to, instead of buying a television? No, but if you can afford to buy, like, first off, it's battery powered. You could definitely game on it. It has minimal lag, shockingly low lag for a projector. Has HDMI in, it's a Google TV, so it's a smart TV. So, like, the thing about it too, also that's cool, is that if you're like a, say you travel a lot and you take it with you, if you have a hotel that has a flat wall, just, you could just, and if it has decent Wi-Fi, that's your streaming device. Boom, you have Netflix right there. You know? So it's really cool. But like I said, again, it's not a replacement for a TV, but man, is it nice just sitting there like after a long day, and I'm like, I could lay in bed and play a game or just watch YouTube videos. It's fucking awesome. You know what's cool to watch on it too? And I'll get to the other super chats. I didn't miss them. I'm just kind of finishing my thought. Is like, there's these videos that are like, where people like, I don't know if they have a GoPro strapped to their head or whatever, but they walk through like New York City and it's like 4K HDR and like you're getting like the rain. Like, man, that's a relaxing way to go to sleep too. Sniper Killer, did I miss your super chat? How am I missing super chats already? I just started this shit. Am I really? I'm not seeing it, bro. I'll look again to see if I'm missing something. YouTube, I have an idea. You know what you should do? You should put a search where if someone says they missed a super chat, I could copy paste their name and it highlights their super chats. There's an idea. I'm serious. I think that's a really smart idea. Go Rich. I knew you were more than just a small penis and man tits. God of War. So how are you liking Vanguard? I haven't played enough to... Well, I love that the double run is back, where you could tap the left analog stick and you could run quicker. That kind of just gives that faster flow to it. I gotta play it more, and I gotta play it on like a high refresh rate monitor or TV, because like I said to you, I mean, look, again, I'm not trying to make excuses. I suck at multiplayer in Call of Duty. I'm not, you know, like you know, it's not bugged game mechanics, but playing on that projector probably isn't the most ideal way, even though, like I said, the lag for a projector is shockingly low in every other game. Like, even platformers and stuff feel like I play Streets of Rage 4 on that projector Griffin Gaming, and it actually, you don't really feel the lag. It's actually, I don't know how the fuck they do it. Because the first, let me tell you, the first capsule was shit. God, that was bad. But this one is awesome. Rich, any thoughts on the Travis Scott news? I heard about what happened there. I heard he did like an apology or something too. I also heard about what happened with that YouTuber Gus something with his ex-girlfriend or whatever. So Sniper Killer, I don't see your super chat, dude. It's not that YouTube may... sometimes like one out of every 100 super chats seems to go to like the YouTube gods and it doesn't come back. Unfortunately, you may have been the lucky person. You could say again here, and I'll answer it if when I see it. There was Repsion shit too. Then there was a shit that came out about Gus. I forgot his other name. Like something happened where his girlfriend was at the hospital with an ectopic pregnancy, and she almost died, and he was out doing other shit. Now look, I will say this. What I heard what Gus did, if everything is true, it's horrible and I condemn it completely. Gus Johnson, yes, Gus Johnson. But looking at that and looking at what Repsion went through, here is the thing about being a public figure. Eventually, you are going to be involved in drama. The email should be in the description, Vampire Rockstar. And I'm going to do... You know what, tomorrow? Here's what we'll do tomorrow. We're going to do a user-requested video stream. I'm going to look through the email. I'm going to get a whole bunch of them. And that's what we'll do. I don't want to go into exactly what happened, because I don't know the full gist of what happened with either of them. But that's the reality of it. Doesn't matter if you're 110% like you have a totally drama-free image, like I Justine, for example, or even though, and I love Spawnwave Media, but Spawnwave Media, he's done a great job, and I applaud him. You know, he is the, when you look at the right way to run a channel, that's how you do it. Now, admittedly, I consider myself an entertainer and a comedian. He's not looking to go that route. But that's why his channel does great, though. He keeps his nose out of drama. He doesn't piss anybody off. You never hear Spawnwave or John talk about politics. The 360 unboxing. Ooh, that's interesting. I ordered a new Xbox 360 Elite unopened, and it will be here. It's already shipping. I have it tracking right now, so it's happening. I bought it. It's brand new. I'm actually fucking excited for that, especially if that, because it's like the black 360 Elite. So it kind of sucks I'm unboxing it, but I'm actually curious to unbox it and see if it works. So did he? What do you disagree with, Aaron? I'm not even sure what you're really trying to say. But, yeah, I know that just Spawnwave made like a political video back in 2060. Yeah, but it's a he probably realized, especially talk about out of all times to make a political video. He's like, oh yeah, this is really toxic. Really toxic. I'm running the fuck away from this because this is not how you want to garner an audience. And guess what? He's 110% right. I am sure, and I thank you, all the fucking companies that stick by me and work with me and the sponsors that stick by me and work with me, but I am sure they probably look at my Twitter feed or the weird ass shit I do in my videos and like, oh God, what is he going to do now? Oh God, what is he going to do now? Oh God, oh God, this is stressful, but thank you. Kiss Carlos for me, you're goddamn right. It's a beautiful bird, and I'm a beautiful man. I'm a gaming news channel, but I've always done more than that. Even before I was ReviewTechUSA. That's why when like people, oh, this guy, all he does, he just talks about everything. I don't get it. When's he gonna go back to? I'm like, I always talked about everything. I remember talking about Kanye West when he did that shit with Taylor Swift back in 2009 or 2000. It was a long fucking time ago. Before it, well, I was RLM Audio at the time. And it does, and you know what's funny? There was, I think it was the Humanist Report who was talking to the Progressive Voice. And what's interesting is one time there was a person who came here and they super chatted, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish. I talked about that. And the Humanist Report was saying to the Progressive Voice, he's like, yeah, I was actually, there was a guy who came in here, let me explain it, let me not get off track. He's super chill, like, dude, I remember in 2014, 2015, I thought you were, I don't know if he said red-pilled, does based mean you're right, like, conservative, but, or red, he said based, or something to mean, like, I'm, like, conservative, and I'm, like, anti-politically correct, or anti-SJW, and I'm like, yeah, I am, but no, I'm not conservative, dude, I lean progressive, bro. But I was kind of doing like what the Humanist Report said he was doing it, like without realizing it, with my I was very against and still am very against a lot of like Anita Sarkeesian's takes, and I've always called her out on it. I was all anti. I've talked about who was the other woman who was involved in Gamergate. I don't even remember her fucking name anymore. But a lot of people thought that because of my takes on that, and because my takes, I've made a ton of videos, especially during like 2014 to 2016. Zoe Quinn. Yeah, Brianna Wu, you might as well put her in there too. That they thought I was kind of like, I guess like the quartering, and I'm not bringing up his name but that's the only thing I can think of as an example. And I'm like, no, man, I've always leaned left. Like, but the thing is, like the Humanist Report said, without even realizing it, I was kind of placating to that base without even meaning to placate to that base, because I'm a fucking idiot and didn't realize I was just placating to a base. And what happened was when people found out that I'm not right-leaning, and they're like, oh, fuck this guy. So that's part of a decent portion why my sub growth kind of goes. Now I'm growing again. It sounds like I'm talking about my penis, but I'm not. But that's what happens though when you are a very opinionated prick like me. John's not opinionated with his takes, and that's smart. He keeps it the gaming news, and he keeps it solely about that. But when you have an opinion on stuff like that, man, it definitely can make you divisive. And boy, have I made myself divisive. So that's the way, like, to keep as much toxicity away from your channel, Spawnwave does it 110% correct, without a doubt. Full wholeheartedly. MVG too. I would say RGT. I don't see him ever getting involved in drama. I think he handled his disagreement with me very well too. You know. You look so beautiful in my LG C1. That's what I have, the C10s back here. It's a beautiful screen, man. I'm using that UAG that finally that Hisense sent me out. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Remember Kanye at the yes. When he was with Mike Myers. And Mike, I think what made that completely funny, besides Kanye West just being fucking insane, was the look that Mike Myers he was just like he didn't know what to do. You got your COVID booster. I go next week to get my booster. Good for you though, man. That's awesome. Yeah, but USA just meant I was... You know what? I made that title, man? I was just kind of like... Yeah, I'm going to look up Big Bird in a second, and then we'll look up what... You know what? Let's just look that up now, because that's kind of important to talk about. That's kind of important to talk about. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Can I get a bird breasts? Yes. Well, you get a... I'll give you 2 clucks. What do you want to? A chicken noise, you got that. And a grandpa excited, yes.
You're getting grandpa excited.
You thought I was going to be a right-wing patriotic channel? See, dude, that's the thing, though. You're probably right, man. There's a lot of people. And again, this isn't me taking shots at Jeremy. It's just me making a statement. A lot of people lump me in with the quartering. And they thought that I was basically... I was similar to him, and I'm not. We have some similar takes when it comes to, like, the anti-SJW stuff. But beyond that... You know, we're very, very different. Anyway, so let's look up this Big Bird shit. Bird breasts. Bird breasts. Let me just look up Ted Cruz. It'd probably be easier. Hold on 1 second. Propaganda. It's CNN. I don't know if I could show CNN. Ted Cruz slams Big Bird. Ted Cruz, Big Bird. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to find one where I won't get like... This stream is now being blocked in The View. Ted Cruz triggered by Big Bird. All right, I'll watch. All right, here we go. We could watch this one.
Big Bird.
Who's this guy? Sergeant Jason Bond. Did I miss? Oh, Rich, how are you? Also, my grandma. Sorry, Sergeant Jason Bond. Said hi. Do you think we could watch some of your old videos again? Oh yeah, me and my grandma were also checking out VHS tapes yesterday. Man, that was a long day. Jesus. Bless you with the VHS tapes. All right, let me shrink the screen. What VHS tapes did you get, man? Let me turn on display capture. It'd be interesting to watch a VHS tape I haven't seen a VHS tape literally probably since the early 2000s. I'm not even kidding. I think the last time was when my brother's 19 now, when he was born. It was the last time, like, he had a Sesame Street episode on a VHS tape. Like, let's see what this is about.
Big Bird has ruffled some conservative feathers this week after announcing that he had been vaccinated for COVID-19. As a lot of you know, Big Bird has been a fixture on television, children's television, since the 1960s. He's officially, though, 6 years old. And the announcement this week from Big Bird, and there's Ted Cruz who wasn't happy about it, the announcement this week from Big Bird was intended to try to help people understand that kids are now approved to get the vaccine. Here's what the tweet said from Big Bird. I got the COVID-19 vaccine today. My wing is feeling a little sore, but I'll give my body an extra protective boost that keeps me and others healthy. Well, President Biden liked it, and he tweeted in reply, good on you, Big Bird. Getting vaccinated is the best way to keep your whole neighborhood safe. So far, so good, right? Well, let's talk about Republican Senator Ted Cruz from Texas. He then tweeted, government propaganda for your 5-year-old. Even though...
Here we go. Imagine only really having zero concern about your base, zero concern about the health of your base, but just feeding them what they want to hear because you just have an ego and you're a narcissist and you just want to further your career. That's all you care about. It's insane. You know he doesn't believe... Ted Cruz is a smart guy. He doesn't believe the shit that he says, but he only cares about it is like, I want to get further. When Tucker Carlson... It's just like...
Texas seems to be quite sort of popular for a lot of families in terms of the immunization for kids. Here's what Rachel Parent wrote in the Washington Post. Following the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention sign-off last week on smaller doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine for children ages 5 to 11, one Texas children's hospital averaged 1,000 appointments an hour when it opened sign-ups after the FDA green light. In the midst of all of this, CNN decided to do something of a video with all this. Big Bird and his friends from Sesame Street were on CNN to push for vaccinations. Watch.
I'm a little scared to get the shot because I don't like needles. Will it hurt?
Oh, it's okay to be scared and to have some of those big feelings, Big Bird.
Watch I get, hey, I'm doing all right tonight, Peter. How are you?
Can I tell you something? I'm a grown-up and I don't really like needles either.
You know what I like to do? I like to bring something from home that might make me feel safe, like a favorite toy, maybe.
Oh, does Rosita have a boo-boo? Oh, no, Amica, this is from my COVID vaccine. My mommy and my papi took me to get it this morning. I was a little scared, Big Bird, but my mommy and my papi helped me, and little Gatito helped me too. And you know what?
I mean, this is a little cringeworthy, but I get what they're trying to do. It's for kids. They're trying to ease their fears on it. Whoa, what was that? I heard a fart in my ear. What? So I gotta open up StreamLabs. I always forget to do that. Eventually, like I always say, one of these years I'll remember. Later. Log in. Sorry, guys. My apologies here. Any day. Why is it not showing? Alert box. Here we go. No. Recent events. Let's see. Hey, Rich, I'm from your future. Ted Cruz has cut off world supply of far-left scourge of seltzer water. Everyone is forced to remain on the IV drip of Texas sweet tea. Oh, God, I'd be investing in a stockpile of Perrier. Save ourselves. Dude, Rich at ReviewTech. I love your name, too. Oh, God. I need a fart shout and a DSP snort. You got it. Well, there are some old VHS tapes we had in the shed. Some of them were Pokemon, and some of them were my dad's, and some of them were a show called NASCAR where I used to watch when I was a kid. Well, Jesus, how many tapes was it, man? And what my better question is, what shape are the tapes in? Because a lot of times those tapes kind of, especially in a shed too, they're very susceptible to temperature fluctuations and things and moisture and stuff. With the way things are, I feel like there's more That's more for adults than kids. Dude, it's so fucking true, Peter. Well, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter anyway. Whatever the I believe it's Pfizer that just, they're going through trials and it's very positive results for a pill that you could basically take that cuts down COVID, severe COVID illness and hospitalization and death by like 90%. That's actually going to be the light at the end of the tunnel with that shit. Because here's the thing. An anti-vaxxer is never going to take the fucking vaccine. I give up. Like, don't fucking take it. I don't want you to. Like, I do want you to. I want everyone to be fucking vaccinated. I understand your distrust of pharmaceutical companies, but you're picking the wrong battle, okay? But now those people who won't get vaccinated, who you know are not going to get vaccinated, that's why I give the fuck up. Fine, don't get vaccinated. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. After they get sick, they'll take the fucking pill because it's like, oh shit, this shit's real. Mostly people will say that. I'm sure some will be fucking idiots and basically indirectly kill themselves. I'm not taking it, like, because they won't take anything. But what I've noticed is a lot of people who were like, oh yeah, I was anti-vax, then I got it and was in the hospital for fucking 2 months, and oh yeah, it's real, you should get your vaccine. Those are the people that be like, oh shit, all right, yeah, I'll take the pill, you know? So that's big fucking news.
Before I knew it, the shot was over, and I had this cool vaccine, Band-Aid on my arm.
So look, it's all fun and games. It's to help kids understand that there's a vaccine that they're gonna get, like the flu vaccine, like other vaccines, and your friends from Sesame Street are there to help you and make you sure.
I remember not the 9/11 Sesame Street. You know what I remember? This is how long ago I'm going back. With the first Gulf War, that Mr. Rogers came on and talked about it. I was actually a little bit out. I was like 10 years old, so I wasn't watching Mr. Rogers, but like I always remember, I think it was like on maybe CNN. I don't remember what news network it was. That was how long ago it was. But Senator Ted Cruz, this is the Attorney General. Please hand over your man card and take this cuckold one. And he's just a gross guy. I've always, and it's not because of just Trump or anything. I always thought that. I always remember being angry at him when he was trying to filibuster Obamacare, which, quite frankly, still is overpriced and sucks, but at least it offers some kind of option. He's just a... Dude, he's another corporatish sellout piece of shit. Who is only worried about furthering his own career. He doesn't give a fuck about anything else. There's plenty... But Rich, what about the... Yeah, there's plenty of Democrats that do that too. I'm sure of it. Nancy Pelosi, sure, I'll buy that one. Absolutely. Chuck Schumer, absolutely. Who the fuck? I forgot her name. Christine Sinema, I think? Hell, she sold her soul to the... She used to be progressive. She sold her fucking soul to the devil. They're, dude, left or right, they only care about themselves. They don't give a fuck about us, man. I have a stockpile, 150 plus VHS tapes. Most work, no problem. Well, that's good. But dropouts and rot is a thing. But you're very lucky. Well, some of them are still in VHS cases. One of my aunts used to work for one of those video stores like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. Some of them were in the original cases. Well, those big plastic cases, I could see protecting the tapes. But yeah, dropout's a thing, man. And the temperature fluctuations fucks with the magnetic, with the tape. And there's breakdown. Actually, there's a bit rot with CDs too. If the government wanted to kill all the conspiracy theories on the vaccine, they need to get rid of the special legal protections for the manufacturers. Until that happens, it only adds more fuel to the fire. Yeah, that's true. But the flip side of that, though, is what I say to argue against that valid point is that if there was some kind of conspiracy theory where they just wanted to get everyone vaccinated so we could all be under government control and Bill Gates could fuck us all in the ass, which is my dream. If there was some evil conspiracy to get everyone vaccinated, why would the pharmaceutical companies put up fights for the vaccines' IP rights to be waived? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You understand, hey, it's all good. But then, of course, there's Fox News, the news organization, self-proclaimed news organization, which declared war on Christmas for so many years, has now opened fire on Sesame Street. Watch.
Well, that was weird. Sanjay Gupta should be talking to mommy and papi and not to little kids on this, what looks like a big pharma.
Why did TYT like get this off a VHS tape from this clip? I don't get it.
Commercial on Sesame Street. It's so creepy.
By the way, if they can be booked on CNN, they have an open invitation.
Basically what it is Maria and Elmo were in Hooper's store and the store caught fire. Maria then explained that things happen and know what to do. I've never seen it, dude. You're talking about the 9/11 thing?
To come on Fox and Friends, the whole Sesame Street cast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not my stream. That's actually what their video. Like, I don't get it. Like,
come on in, yeah.
What is it? 2008 TYT? Where did you get this rip from?
You should book them and ask them about it. The science.
Like, I use it's obviously fair use. I use clips from people's videos if I'm talking about a news topic all the time. It looks a hell of a lot crispier than this shit.
Behind the risk to kids on COVID is just so stark and clear. They're not at risk to either transmit or get seriously sick from COVID.
They have less of a chance, but that's not true at all. He's telling you factual misinformation right now.
And yet, as you point out, so few, none really, long-term studies on the effect to children. And yet this type of propaganda is like, oh yeah, that's definitely what we need to do.
Leave it, of course, to Fox News to lie to families as they're talking about Sesame Street, about the science. But in any case, Francesca, what you make of this?
Oh, I forgot to say some of the VHS tapes were also my dad's, but he passed away back in 2019. I'm very sorry to hear that. But I also found a sealed Charlie Brown VHS. Holy shit, does it work? I'm sorry to hear about your dad, too. You know, I'm trying to mix two things together there, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's just so much to unpack in all of that. First of all, I think we all want to see Fox and Friends discuss the vaccine with Sesame Street characters, because it's like for the first time you'd have like an actual meeting of minds, you know.
She's got it right about that
like
one.
They're at the same level, they read at the same level, they count up to the same number, you know, 11 is like scary for them, you know, that kind of thing. So I say go for it. I think that would be really, really funny. I would love to see them just debating Big Bird on it and little Rosita.
I would love to see Big Bird just like go like full fucking gangster though. Wow, Ted Cruz is a fucking asshole. I can't do it.
And berating them, because you know that's what they're out for. It's interesting because this is actually not the first time that the right.
How is her audio quality so meh? I don't know what mic that looks like a Rode mic she has in front of her.
Has targeted Sesame Street.
Sounds like she's using Skype. Usually Skype makes you sound like shit. Doesn't matter what. You could have the Neumann TL-M103, that's what I have in front of me, or you could have a fucking snowball mic. You still sound like shit. I heard a fart. Someone must be not Ted Cruz's sweetie. Richard, please disregard the unfortunately the man who sent the donation was seriously ill as he neglected his daily dose of Cruz brew. We are looking into the incident. Thank you for understanding. Imagine, dude. I would buy Ted Cruz beard if he had like those. Remember he had those chops for a while. Does he still have those beard chops? And someone said, yo, the best, most savage comment to Ted Cruz, they said like, oh wow, he looks like Wolverine, except having like metal claws come out of his hands. Instead of having that, he would just have a bunch of flaccid penises come out. And I was like, yes! Yeah, but dude, there are cases with kids with long COVID. There are cases of kids that do die. If there's a vaccine out there, that will prevent illness, and if nothing else, will prevent even if the kids don't get sick, prevent other people from getting infected, because the vaccine keeps the kid from having enough viral load in them to infect other people. Then it's still worth it, man. It's still worth it.
So there's context, like Newt Gingrich wanted to defund the Corporation for Republic.
Not sure didn't open the seal of Charlie, because apparently we found another seal VHS was sent to her. Damn, you have a bunch of those fucking sealed ones, huh? Doesn't mean they're just like the Xbox that I'm getting this Friday. Doesn't mean they're working though. We'll see if that Xbox, then if it has blades, yo. Yeah, 14% of kids. Let's look that up to verify it, because that's a pretty percent of kids get long COVID. Let's look it up to verify it. Children with long COVID. Let's see. U.S. National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. This is where it comes from. A serious picture is emerging about the long-term health effects of COVID-19 in some children, with UK politicians calling the lack of acknowledgement of the problem a national scandal. Children seem to be fairly well protected from the most severe symptoms of COVID-19, according to the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. The majority of children don't develop symptoms when infected with coronavirus, or the symptoms are very mild. However, it is becoming increasingly apparent that a large number of children with symptomatic and asymptomatic COVID-19 are experiencing long-term effects many months after the initial infection. Symptoms of long COVID were first thought of it to include fatigue, muscle and joint pain, headache, insomnia, respiratory problems, and heart palpitations. Now, support groups and researchers say there may be up to 100 other symptoms, including gastrointestinal problems, nausea, dizziness, seizures, hallucinations, and testicular pain. Jesus. Most long COVID research is based on adults. There is less information under 18-year-olds, in part because it takes longer to get ethical approval to study children, says Natalie Lambert at University School of Medicine. A recent study found that 13.3% of adults with symptomatic COVID-19 have symptoms lasting more than 28 days. Long-lasting symptoms were more likely to occur with increasing age and BMI, and were more likely in women than men, although it isn't clear why. Experiencing more than 5 symptoms in the first week post-infection was associated with a greater likelihood of having symptoms further down the line. Evidence from the first study of long COVID in children suggests that more than half of children aged between 6 and 16 years old who contracted the virus had at least one symptom lasting more than 120 days, with 42.6% impaired by these symptoms during daily activities. These interim results are based on periodic assessments of 129 children in Italy who were diagnosed with COVID-19 between March and November 2020 at the Gemelli University Hospital in Rome. The UK Office for National Statistics' latest report estimates 12.9% of UK children aged 2 to 11 and 14.5% of children aged 12 to 16 still have symptoms 5 weeks after their first infection. Almost 500,000 UK children have tested positive for COVID-19 since March of 2020. Get the fucking vaccine. You know. Yes, I heard about that, Mr. Oh, shit, I missed a whole bunch of them. I really wish Beto O'Rourke beat Cruz in 2018. He came so close to beating him, and I voted for Beto. I hate Cruz, I hate that Cruz is one of my senators. Yeah, dude, I've always thought this about him, too. It's not just because of, like, Trump and MAGA. It's not, I don't play that divisive politics bullshit, but fuck Ted Cruz, man. Yeah, and Mr. Gamer, I heard about that, dude. I don't like Ted Cruz, but I agree with him on this. And why are you trying to market the vaccine to kids when it's the parents' choice? because they're not marketing it to the kids. They're just, if like, say, like my son got the vaccine, okay, the first dose. If the kid's nervous, my son was nervous, but then he actually calmed down about it. Like his grandmother was there and stuff like that when he got the vaccine. They're scared. It's a needle going in their arm. That's all they're trying to do. That's all they're trying to do. Stop that. It's not propaganda. It's just they're trying to ease fears, because I'm sure there's a lot of kids going. Like they said, there were 1,000 appointments they were making an hour. And the kids are probably, they're scared of needles. They're kids. You know what I mean? We're also trying to downsize all those VHS tapes, since me and my grandma might be moving to Oklahoma or staying at Michigan. And yeah, we don't want to make all the VHS tapes we have. Or you know what you may want to do too? Why don't you get a capture card and capture, like say you have rare ones that you don't want to keep, but you know, you just want to get the video off them, maybe make captures. It's pretty easy to do too. Time consuming, but easy. Can we have a little Badlands chunks today? Possibly. I'd rather have Chuck Schumer and Kirsten Gillibrand like you do than John. Yeah, well, that's true. But Kristen Gillibrand, I believe, I remember reading that she actually was in the pocket of like big tobacco back. Dude, they're all fucking scam artists, man. They're all fucking scam artists. Let me. Sorry, why do I have her so low?
Broadcasting. Remember the Jerry Falwell Teletubby stuff? That was all on PBS. Oh yeah, Tinky Winky is, you know, encouraging people to be, you know, gay. Like what? You know, so again, they've been.
Yeah, it's so true. But what amazes me about people that are like anti-vax and anti-science is that a big portion of them, not all, but a big portion, like, oh yeah, just shove a bleach tablet up your ass and you'll be fine. Why is that science and medicine that you're getting from a not accredited source? Okay, but I don't understand. Humanity is fucked.
Trying to cancel things from well before when they accuse the left of supposedly canceling, but it's just so amazing to me that something harmless, adorable, come on, Rosita, please, they would be so triggered by, and that's only because they have nothing else to go on. And David, let me ask you, like, you're the parent of 2 small children, right?
I'm the parent of 3 small children, so.
Do you feel like this is rushed? Do you feel like it happened, real quick? You know, I'm assuming.
No, I don't either.
If you've been at home with them quarantining, it couldn't happen soon enough.
Right, I mean, we're talking almost 2 years now. And oh, by the way, the science on all of this has been going on for 10 years, and we're taking essentially 1/3 of the dose that is given to parents to give to kids. There's been all sorts of kids who have gotten this already. The studies are clear that, you know, there's nothing wrong with getting the vaccine. But here's my issue with Fox News and also the Republicans. Maybe there's an argument. I guess in some universe, there's an argument about.
I almost wish they wouldn't say, because once you start saying about the Republicans, which. Well, yeah, they're a problem, but I don't want to make it about partisan politics, man. It's about fucking science. It's not about, it's about 14% of kids getting long COVID. It's about, I just want shit to get back to normal. I want to be able to go, like, I know it's something small and I don't care about wearing a mask, but you know, I was going to Starbucks today to get a coffee and the girl there was nice enough to get me a mask. Yeah, like I said, I forgot a mask. Like, life is still weird, and I want the weirdness to stop. Do you know how deep you have to be in partisan politics that you generally believe that California recall election was rigged? Well, that's going to be the new thing now every time Republicans lose, right? That's going to be their play, because it works. It was rigged against me, that's why I lost. That's it. Welcome to everything, and people are going to believe them every single time. Regarding VHS to digital, I have a Panasonic DMP BD70 Blu-ray VHS combo player with HDMI 1080p upscale output. Jesus Christ. Blu-ray in VHS? It makes VHS tapes look close to 720p. Holy shit. Ooh, I want to see that. I almost want to get that. That's like a tech mode video, so it wouldn't be my category, but that would still, ooh. but it's based on, it's actually longer than a decade, I believe. I actually think he misquoted. Could be wrong. But this is not just new tech. They have built it. They have designed a vaccine for a God forbid situation like this. And if you read, a lot of the shit they got was from the 2003 SARS, because it's in the same family, and it's not based on new tech. You gotta do the research on it, man. If after you do the proper research, and I'm not meaning freedomforjesus.net, where some guy's trying to sell you a dick pill and tell you that it'll protect you against the vaccine too. Like, if you go to like National Health Services, or you go to the CDC and you do all the research and studies and you still don't want to take it, don't take the vaccine then. I don't care. But you can't go by like the Karens on fucking Facebook and seeing like, yep, I know everything now. How frustrating must it be, and I've talked about this before, if you're a scientist or a physician who has studied medicine for 10 plus years, and you have worked your ass off to be in a field where you're literally saving lives and helping people, for someone to go, yeah, I watched a YouTube video called Plandemic, fuck you. Wee, all right, it's time to prove you wrong, bro. Let's prove you wrong. This comes from the World Health Organization. Where is it? Let me look this up. Of course, they have to have. Here we go. Hopkins Medicine. Can't get better than that. Myth. Researchers rush the development of the COVID-19. This is coming from Johns Hopkins University. I don't really know what else you need at this point, but if you believe a conspiracy theory website over this, God bless you. Myth. Researchers rush the development of the COVID-19 so its effectiveness and safety cannot be trusted. Fact. Studies found that the two initial vaccines are both 95% effective and have reported no serious or life-threatening side effects. Of course there is, but there are people I know that can't get the flu vaccine because they have an allergic reaction so it could kill them. So keep your 1 out of every 8 billion fucking people stories away. Why the COVID-19 vaccines could be developed. There are many reasons why the COVID-19 vaccines could be developed so quickly. Here's just a few. The COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer/BioNTech and Moderna were created with a method that has been in development for years so the companies could start the vaccine development process early in the pandemic. That's the part I talk about all the time. China isolated and shared genetic information about COVID-19 promptly. They put out the DNA code of that super early on so scientists could start working on vaccines. The vaccine developers didn't skip any testing steps, but conducted some of the steps on an overlapping schedule to gather data faster. Did you know all this? I bet you didn't. Vaccine projects had plenty of resources as governments invested, like Project Warp Speed, to Trump's credit, in research and or paid for vaccines in advance. Some types of COVID-19 vaccines were created using messenger RNA, mRNA, which allows a faster approach than the traditional way that vaccines are made. Social media helped companies find and engage study volunteers, and many were willing to help with COVID-19, so they had more volunteers to test it on too. Because COVID-19 is so contagious and widespread, it did not take long to see if the vaccine worked for the study volunteers who were vaccinated, because it wasn't like when we had SARS back in 2003, which was small clusters, because so many people had it, they could see the effects of it. Companies began making vaccines early in the process, even before FDA FDA authorization, so supplies were ready when authorization occurred. I don't know what else to tell you at that point, man. I don't know what else to say. Don't, like, what are you hearing that counters that, and from where and from who? Don't give me a guy, oh, he runs a what are those fucking clinics called where it's like where you go there to get like rush medication and they always find out these guys are fucking frauds. Urgent care. I run an urgent care facility. So that's it. Like, that's from John Hopkins, and you can look at other places. Go look at the CDC. Go look at, like, and Rich. Well, that's not the truth. What is the truth? Well, where are you getting your truth from? Tell me, like, what are you cherry picking that's okay to get it from? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not making sense. You're not making sense. Like, fine, okay, so give me your counter, but you can't go to me and say that Bob heard from Bill, who heard from Christine, who got it from a Facebook article, who the Facebook article got it from TikTok, that's your rebuttal to it. I'm not saying that conspiracy theories don't exist, but Jesus Christ, like, we have what you have to understand is this is not the first pandemic, and we have technology now, like Pfizer's making a pill that if you get sick, you're sick. You have a 90% chance of not having to go to the hospital, and it'll keep you from dying. I'm not tilted by TYT. Oh, dude, there you go. See, you're going into the... But what did I just read to you? I'm not tilted by... I don't do that, man. I don't do that. I don't play partisan politics. I got my kid vaccinated. Dude, Griffin, it's insane. It's insane. Like, why would... And like I said to you before, if it was some evil conspiracy that they wanted to get everyone vaccinated so there's a whole... They could have people under control and then kill them off, why would our pharmaceutical companies fight our government to keep... They didn't want the IP rights waived so they can make more money. So if their ultimate goal was to get everyone vaccinated so Bill Gates could buttfuck them and find out everything they're doing, which you have one of these, they already know. It's just insane, man. I don't know what to say. It's new. There's a lot of new technology. If we never, like, first off, I already read all the research that they've done. I don't know what else to tell you, and I've already brought up a lot of those talking points before. But science evolves and changes. You know how George... You want to hear a risky vax? You know George Washington... I believe it was, what was George Washington vaccine? I gotta look it up. Washington vaccine. First military inoculation. Let's look at this. Fuck hearing this talking head right now. Here. Because someone said it in the chat here and I meant to respond to them before. Stupid people don't know they're stupid. They don't. They have no... I know I'm not... I'll be the first to say I'm not a rocket scientist, but I'm a person of average intelligence that realizes I don't know everything. I do also accept there are conspiracies, but not everything is a fucking conspiracy. We had a pandemic, once in 100 years pandemic. They happen. We have had them before. The Black Plague says hi, which wiped out 1/3 of the Earth's population. How many millions of people died from the Spanish flu of 1918? But this is the first big one in our lifetimes, and the problem is because we weren't alive for the other events, people, like, we don't understand. History repeats itself because human beings only live this one lifetime. So we may have history in our books, but we don't experience the history. So when you experience the history, To you, it's the first time, so you're just scared. And people want to like make sense of the nonsensical. And not everything has either. Life just happens. Mother Nature is a motherfucker. It's out to kill you. Survival of the fittest. We've made science to fight Mother Nature for, like, oh, yeah, I just want to be natural. Okay, everything is natural then. Never get a knock, never go to the doctor, never get a shot, never get anything, and you'll live to the ripe old age of mid-30s. Like, you were considered middle-aged in, like, when you were like 12 and 13 back in the day, back in the Middle Ages. Why do you think they got married at like 13 years old? Because you were dead by the time, you were lucky if you made it to fucking 30. You're lucky if you made it past childbirth. Like, why? I don't understand how people, you read through history and read through all of the leaps we've made through science and medicine and evolution and go, nah, fuck all that. What is wrong with you? Yeah, but dude, I don't play partisan politics, man. I'm not left or right. I'm science. I don't give a fuck. I'm about science. If you have evidence, even if it's a leftist position that's unpopular, if John Hopkins is saying something and it's backed by research, that's my take. Doesn't matter if it pisses off the right or it pisses off the left. But tonight, because I don't feel like going down any other rabbit holes, let's just keep it to this. God damn, where's all this truth coming from my ass? As a matter of fact, here. And you know what, too, at the same time, I blame my own government for this, because they've done so much in... oh, shit, I missed a bunch of super chats here. Sorry, guys. I stopped Griffin Gaming. I went on a tirade after I blame Griffin Gaming. He's the reason I fucked up. People that listen to conspiracy theorists are like alcoholics getting advice from people about quitting drinking to go to a bar every day. Yeah, and even though I've lost weight, I know I've put some back on. It's like going to me for nutritionist advice. I mean, I've still lost a shit ton and kept off a shit ton, but I could do better. If these people are so intelligent that they can outsmart the scientists, why aren't they themselves doctors or scientists? Dude, you know, it's kind of like... I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. If these people are so intelligent... It's... Back... Oh, here's what the point I was going to make. It had to come back in my brain. I believe it was indulgences the church used to sell. Where people were like, oh, I could just buy my way back into heaven. I could do whatever the fuck I want. Like, how do you believe... If God really exists, do you really think that he's going, or he or she, or it, are going and saying, or let's just say they, I think that's the... Or like, oh yeah, this guy cheated on his wife 5 times and murdered 20 different people, but he bought an indulgence, so open heaven gates for him. But people, here's how brainwashing works with human beings. Here's the thing, and I know people are going to get pissed off at this, but be like Spawnwave, don't be like me. Anyway, hello. You always remember, I believe it's on first Fridays, or no, Lent, I don't even know. I'm agnostic, but I used to go to a Catholic and grade school and high school, and now I'm agnostic. That should tell you something. You weren't supposed to eat meat on certain days. Yeah, don't be like me. Don't talk. Be like Spawnwave. If you want to have a successful YouTube channel, do not ever talk about any of the shit that I talk about. Be like John. Don't be like Dad. The more you know. I'll stop with the applause for like a half an hour, I swear. Or maybe 20 minutes. Go fuck yourself. Anyway. There was a day, whatever the fucking day was, doesn't matter. Or be like RGT. Yeah, RGT's fucking cool as shit too. And he still stays out of politics and drama because he's smart. He's not like me. I'm a fucking idiot. Where you're not supposed to eat meat. Now, if you look into the history of this, that started with that the fishermen were in cahoots with the church. I believe this is the case. And they were like, oh yeah, let's just tell people let's just say they'll burn in hell if they eat meat on this Friday. It's like it just sounds stupid. But that was a thing, and I remember like we used to only have fish on. Not my parents aren't really religious, but you're only supposed to have fish on Fridays. I remember one day, my grandmother, God rest her soul, she's no longer here, but when she was here, she had a hamburger on, I believe it was Friday. Whatever the hell the day is. And my mom goes through my mom, her daughter, and she was like, "Ma, I don't really think it's a big deal. Just letting you know though, so you don't freak out later. You realize it's Lent or whatever it is, and you're eating meat. Just letting you know," because my grandmother went, "Ugh!" Like she spit that out, and she wiped her tongue with a napkin because it's brainwashing, and it's very easy to our brains are literally like fucking clay. They're soft. Their brains are, what does they say? It's like rice pudding. That's disgusting to think about. That's the consist. You could mold someone's mindset to anything. That's why cults exist. And then you take the human beings, because we're self-aware, we're conscious, we're a self-aware species. We're the only species, I believe, on this planet. I'm sure there's others that maybe they can't communicate it, that we're aware of our own self-demise. Then you say that, oh wow, after you die, you'll have everlasting eternity alive in heaven, and you'll live in euphoria if you follow all these crazy fucking rules. People are like, sign me up. My brain, my common sense is out the window. My religion wants me to shove a salmon up my asshole. Consider it done. People are scared and will believe anything if it eases their fears. Denial is a hell of a drug, man. It's a hell of a drug. Most of my ancestors died from diseases. You know, the Azteca, when Europeans came, someone died, summer, we're here. Wait till you read, till I read this about George Watt. Imagine if Ben Shapiro and Alex Jones have a debate. I would pay money for that. I would put money on that. Ben Shapiro would, because Ben Shapiro, he's a jackass, but he's definitely, I would say, smarter than Alex Jones. I don't agree with either of their politics, but okay, Blacksaw, I see you. I'll take a look at. Send that to my email, man. I'm going to do all the email requests tomorrow. Not all but I'll put a pick email request for tomorrow. No, I have nothing else to talk about with RGT. Maybe I'll have him on a stream just because that would be fun. But that's it. Like, it's not like I have, my editor has been working with publishers and developers for almost a decade and a half. Wanted him to give his take. It was funny that a lot of people went on, oh, it's like you that's like, oh, he works in the game industry. Did you say he worked at a retail store? That's not, like, that's such bullshit. I'm like, no, I wouldn't just have him on because he worked at an EB Games or a GameStop. That was just part of the story because he knew the protocol from it. But like I said, he's been working with developers and publishers since like before 2010. You know what I mean? Anyway, so let's read this here as I have this here because I'm a man on the internet. Yeah, that was a much different Jimmy Dore. That was before the Jimmy Dore that and the thing is, before everyone's like, oh, what do you think if he left TYT? No, like, no, I still like Jimmy Dore after he left TYT. He's changed fairly recently. Fairly is the key word. Anyway. George Washington's military genius is undisputed, yet American independence must be partially attributed to a strategy for which history has given the infamous general little credit: his controversial medical actions. Traditionally, the Battle of Saratoga is credited with tipping the revolutionary scales, yet the health of the Continental regulars involved in battle was a product of ambitious initiative Washington began earlier that year at Morristown, close of the heels of the victorious Battle of Princeton. Among the Continental regulars in the American Revolution, 90% of deaths were caused by disease, and in Varroa, the smallpox virus was the most vicious of them all. On January 6, 1777, George Washington wrote Dr. William Shippen, Jr., ordering him to inoculate all of the forces that came through Philadelphia. He explained that necessity not only authorizes, but seems to require the measure, for should the order infect the army, we should have more to dread from it than the sword of the enemy. The urgency was real. Troops were scarce, and encampments had turned into nomadic hospitals of festering disease, deterring further recruitment. Both Benedict Arnold and Benjamin Franklin, after surveying the havoc wreaked by Varroa on the Canadian campaign, expressed fears that the virus would be the Army's ultimate downfall. You are taking a medical license exam and someone there went full conspiracy. Dude, it's crazy. And the thing is that maybe here's the problem too, is that about everyone going bing and bing, is that maybe there's things that somewhat we should come, maybe things are, maybe there's maybe someone with a certain kind of allergy. Maybe that should be, it's rare, but maybe it should be discussed more. But because people are so polarized on each side, no one wants to talk. And you get people that just lose their fucking minds. Like I said, I have, now, obviously I'm very pro-vaccine, and I encourage people to get it almost every fucking stream, even when I'm not talking about this shit. But the thing I said, just talk to your doctor first. If you have concerns, if you have any allergies, or Rich, some people were like asking me, Rich, I have allergies, should I get the vaccine? I'm not your fucking doctor. Of course, if you have like some kind of allergy that you're afraid, ask your doctor. I get my booster next week. You know what I mean? Anyway. At the time, the practice of infecting the individual with the less deadly form of the disease was widespread throughout Europe. Most British troops were immune to Varroa, giving them an enormous advantage against the vulnerable colonists. Conversely, the history of inoculation in America, beginning with the efforts of the Reverend Cotton Mather in 1720, was pocked by fear of the contamination potential of the process. Such fears led the Continental Congress to issue a proclamation in 1776 prohibiting surgeons of the Army to inoculate. Washington suspected the only available recourse was inoculation, yet contagion risk aside, he knew that a mass inoculation put the entire army in a precarious position should the British hear of his plans. Moreover, historians estimate that less than a quarter of the Continental Army had ever had the virus. Inoculating the remaining 3/4 in every new recruit must have seemed daunting. Yet the high prevalence of disease among the Army regulars was a significant deterrent to desperately needed recruits, and a dramatic reform was needed to allay their fears. Weighing the risks, on February 5th, 1777, Washington finally committed to the unpopular policy All these fucking weirdos. 1776, no vaccine. George Washington, 1776, huh? Unpopular policy of mass inoculation. You ever going to talk about this? Oops. Doesn't matter they're enlisted soldiers. All right, they're enlisted soldiers. Who gives a shit? It's not for the people. I know it was for the army, but it was still unpopular. But he did it. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Sounds familiar. Throughout February, Washington, with no precedent for the operation he was about to undertake, covertly communicated to his commanding officers to oversee mass inoculations of their troops in the model of Morristown in Philadelphia. At least 11 hospitals have been constructed by the year's end. Varroa raged throughout the war, devastating the Native American population and slaves who had chosen to fight for the British in exchange for freedom. Yet Washington was a slave owner. Let's just put that out there, too. Little sad fact. Yet the isolated infections that sprung up among Continental regulars during the Southern failed to incapacitate a single regiment. With few surgeons, fewer medical supplies, and no experience, Washington conducted the first mass inoculation of an army at the height of a war that immeasurably transformed the international system. Defeating the British was impressive, but simultaneously taking on Varroa, if I'm saying the name wrong, I apologize, was a risky stroke of genius. So, dude, I always talk about, like, I guess some people are new here and then they realize that I get into shit like all this all the time. I go down the rabbit hole of where my audience wants me to go. That's why I always laugh when other YouTubers, in general, I'm not thinking like, oh, why did you talk about me? I'm like, I talked about you because my audience wanted to talk about you. If my audience wants to talk about DSP, I'll talk about DSP. If my audience wants to talk about wings, I'll talk about wings. My audience wants to talk about Bill Gates, I'll talk about Bill Gates and how he wants to come through on a hang glider and fuck me in the ass. My gain is high? I can fix that. My gain is high. Ah, it is. It is a little. I am a little hot. How do I sound now? Yeah, obviously, Washington was in. They'll never bring up, though. I know it was the troops, and if I failed to mention that, yeah, he got his troops inoculated. That was the thing. He got the troops inoculated against smallpox, which gave them a huge military advantage. I've known that since before I read this. Oh no, a vaccine mandate for the troops. 1770. Oh, wait. I just don't want to get vaccinated because I'm an asshole. Anyway. How is the comparison hot garbage? Please, from High Horse, you can't just say something like that and don't have something to back it up. Because what it tells me, if you don't have something to back it up, it means you just don't want to hear it. What evidence do you have to negate what I'm just saying? If you have it, I'll even read it here. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it. Yes, I super chatted and told Phil that he has an amazing mustache because his mustache did look fantastic, Philip Burnell. I know someone that, due to COVID, who was healthy before COVID, who has been dealing with health, 2 people actually. One of them was healthy, one of them did have other issues, but still. Both of them have heart issues. One actually, one of them was completely healthy, was actually, she would run triathlons and shit. Or not, what the hell are they called? I don't know, when you run like 5 fucking miles or whatever. Perfect health. Now has heart issues because of COVID. I know someone else who just had to have surgery, heart surgery, because of COVID. I don't know what, then just, I don't know what to say. I don't know how there could be so much information out there about something and people still don't want to fucking hear. I just, okay, so don't get it. I don't know what to tell you. At least there's a pill coming so that if you don't take the vaccine and you're sick in a hospital, they'll still be able to save you. And what's amazing is that there's still people out there that will still say, even if this pill that I believe it's Pfizer that's making it, save their asses, yeah, I don't believe in it. I just don't. How people are literally dying in the hospital and there's nurses that are like, yes, you are dying from COVID. No, I'm not. Okay, you're not. I don't know what else to say. So I just have to just at that point, all right. I've known someone who had to have that was in the news. Someone had to have a lung transplant, but that was the news. I can't bring up the news. So anyway, the amount of cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias would be insane if QAnon didn't hear this. Science is awesome. Just go to town. And look, man, I'm not saying that I want to gargle a pharmaceutical company's nuts. I know they're terrible. I know they just like what they did with the opiate crisis. It's horrible. They're profit driven. But science and medicine is the reason why our average life expectancy has skyrocketed. Science and medicine is the reason that, and technology is the reason that I'm making a living sitting with 2 birds in front of this camera right now. But I don't know. If people do not believe in taking vaccines and not taking vaccines from birth, the death rate would have been significantly higher, and every day millions die. Yeah. How many other mandatory vaccines have there been? How many diseases have been eradicated? I've already brought up lists of diseases that have been eradicated due to vaccines, but it's just there's small, like, what was it? Smallpox was making a resurgence because there were people having like I think it was smallpox parties to get I'd rather my kid get sick naturally. Like, what the fuck is wrong with, I can't. It's incredible. The stupidity is fucking insurmountable. I mean, you had motherfuckers, scientists digging through the dirt to find an antibody, and it worked for tuberculosis. Rich, it's new. Yeah, the science evolves, science changes, new diseases emerge. Oh, look, COVID-19's fucking new. We have new technology. Then all of a sudden, magically now, well, no, not magically. There's always been that way. Science deniers, but it's been stronger now than ever because of the misinformation that spreads like wildfire on the internet. Oh, it was measles. It was measles. There were people having measles parties to get their kids sick. I'm like, what planet am I on? What planet am I fucking on? Yeah, I know I'm yelling into the void. Christopher, I just read to you all the other research that was done. You just took everything else, put that all to the side, and said they came out with the vaccine quick. well done for cherry picking what's out there, dude. Congratulations, 10 out of 10. When your anti-vax mom installs antivirus on your tablet but not on you, it's so true. Believe me, dude. It's so. I haven't put antivirus on a computer on a lighter note, and I can't even remember fucking how long, man. But Christopher, but okay, but dude, I don't know what I don't know what to say with you at this point. With how many times that I bring up sources and cite sources, don't get it. But God forbid you get sick and go to the hospital when that hopefully that Pfizer pill is out. When you pop that Pfizer pill and you're no longer sick, you're welcome. Not me directly, but just because. Like, here's the thing: you don't. There's plenty of car companies that have done unethical things. Do you still drive a car? Just saying. Oh God, remember that kid that like got off because like a judge said, oh yeah, he did what was it, like drunk driving or something like that. He was born rich though, so he's not responsible for his actions. Like basically is what the judge said, and I'm just like, we live in the Twilight Zone, man. Yeah, what about their seatbelt laws? You can't go, you know, and for these people complaining that they're a federal worker and have to get a mask, have to get a vaccine, or you technically don't at some places. You could, I don't know about all, but so I know I heard in the news that some places offered where you could get tested weekly. So just get tested weekly. They're giving you an option. The Switch Online experience is terrible. I already have a bunch of N64 games in the console itself. Exactly. I have an Eon HDMI adapter, so I get crispy 40p resolution with the smoothing on. I don't need the service. I mean, look, okay, not everyone's going to have that, but there's also other, like you could get you get this. I actually see this actually has like better looking visuals, I heard, Mario 64 than the emulated one they give you with Nintendo 64 Online. I never said the vaccine was free. I never said the vaccine was free. It's getting paid. So you're angry that the government is paying for people to get vaccinated? So you don't have to pay out of pocket? Like, I don't understand what you're mad at. Yeah, we already paid for it. Like, so enjoy. You know, I'm going to get my booster shot next week. Thanks, government. And it's not free healthcare. You pay taxes on that, but you know what? You'll still pay less in taxes than you would pay for the cut you get taken out of your paycheck for your health insurance. So you have to pay for it. Like, you're already paying for your fucking healthcare, and on top of it too, you're paying for your healthcare or your health insurance. And sometimes your health, just because you have good health insurance, the health insurance company, like say, like your doctor says, God forbid you need some kind of surgery. Oh yeah, no, Christopher is right about that. They got paid. But on the flip side, that actually kind of it reaffirms where if they were just looking to give mass vaccinations to people and get everyone vaccinated for some kind of weird government control or whatever fucked conspiracies out there, why would they fight to waive the IP rights? They didn't want to waive the IP rights because they wanted to make. If they were just looking to get people vaccinated, oh yeah, fuck it, give IP rights, waive them, because we want Bill Gates to have full government control of our buttholes. That's a clippable thing right there. I get. What the fuck? People send me the weirdest shit. What the hell? Anyway, I'll look at that later. What am I doing? Let them not get vaxxed, more PS5s. Well, crap gamers toilet paper. That name is ridiculous. I don't wish death on anybody, man. I don't want people to die. I don't. I genuinely, wholeheartedly don't. I don't care what your political mindset is. I don't care what your if you have a conspiracy theory on this and you think I'm the big I would not wish any of this on you. I would not wish COVID on you. I would not wish. I said it as an as-if example one time that I remember saying to that one person, go catch it. And what I meant was, since you said what I was meaning by that, context is key. I was like, you're saying you're going to survive and it's not a big deal, so go catch it. But do I wish anyone to, God forbid, actually get seriously ill and sick? No. You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at, man. Dude, topics like... Dude, unfortunately, with a variety channel like mine, and with all of the crazy shit going on in the world, this stuff is going to come up. There's no fucking way around it. It's unavoidable. Rich is still on. I haven't even been on 2 hours, man. So let me get to an important topic here, too. This is, Twitter DMs, the quartering porn history. The quartering porn. All right, so no one could see it. Let me look. I'll look on my phone just in case there's reflections. Kind of sounds like I'm All right, so let me see here. So I'm going to Twitter. Not seeing it, bro. Oh, oh, wait. Oh, shit. No! No! Oh. Reddit forced cream pie. Oh, he's looking up cream pies. I mean, look, it's funny. We all watch porn. But why the forced? Wait, hold on. What's with the forced? All right, that kind of changes things. If that's not shopped, why do you want to watch women unwillingly take cream pies, dude? That's kind of strange. Is that like some kind of power trip thing? Like, wait, that just sunk in. Why the forced? Oh. Patrick, you may have just opened up in before. Why is Rich always talking about me? Well, someone sent me something where you were looking up forced cream pies. What do you want me to do? Now, look, man, you get off on watching cream pies, it's fine. But if it's a forced one, I don't really feel like... I know I get pretty vile on these streams. I don't really feel like explaining it. But if that's not shopped, I just always have to, you know, say, look, I need more evidence. But if that's actually his thing, why do they have to be like, all right, you want to watch cream pies in your on your Pornhub, bless your heart. But why the forced ones? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right, so this is like a little... It's off the topic of talking about fucking vaccines, because it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. I understand. I understand. It's like you're screaming into the fucking void. Someone said that in the regular chat before, and it's 110% accurate. So, this is regarding Camelot, because he put up a public tweet. And I'm going to talk about it, because I've been in a similar situation before. He had this tweet from 7 hours ago where he said, "My mental health has hit bottom. I blame it on YouTube, but it's my fault because I haven't been as entertaining as I should have been." I guess meaning he's talking about his channel hasn't been performing as well. I think he said here that, you know, he's not getting the same viewership he's doing. And things like that. And he came, this is public, so he came to me for some advice, and I'm going to give him the advice that, because I've been in a similar situation before. And he said this too, which is pretty fucked up what people said to him. Went to some of my closest friends about being uneasy about the state of my channel. They got mad at me for being upset and pretty much said, suck it up, so I guess I'll just shut up about it. And I didn't do that. I actually gave him some advice because the advice is valid, because I've been in a similar situation. It happened in 2018. Gotta moisturize my hole, excuse me. In 2018, my channel, there was a time that my channel, I thought it was done. There was some, this is when I was like peak feeding trolls. And there was a conspiracy put out about me regarding, my Patreon, which I had a Patreon that, like, I delayed a couple. That's all it was. I ended up doing it. I delayed a couple things, and I ended up doing the Patreon anyway. But there was some stupid bullshit. I don't even remember all the details about it, and I don't even want to go completely into it because I'm sure there's things I don't remember. And someone's like, "Oh, Rich, you're lying about that because you don't remember every detail." Whatever. It was overblown drama, and nothing really happened, and I didn't do anything nefarious. Okay. But of course I engaged with all the trolls that were talking about it, and it made it into a big shit show, and then people thought it, and again, it's the Streisand effect. If you try to sweep it under the rug, or on the flip side, talk about it all the time, people are starting to get suspect about it and think, oh, why did he try to delete the videos? Or why is he not shutting the fuck up about it? Maybe he's guilty. So needless to say, I got involved knee deep in the drama. And what happened was it was hurting my channel, and you know, and also other shit too happens with the algorithm. And it was one of the lowest points in terms of in my YouTube career. I was losing for like months straight. I mean, yeah, this year I'm growing again. I've so far in the past like 28 days, I've gotten 3,000 subs, which for how dead my sub growth has been since like January of 2021 is pretty good. But this year I was stagnant kind of with growth, but that year I was losing. There was a month where I was losing hundreds upon hundreds of subs a day. My viewership was at the lowest it was since years before that. And I remember thinking, you know, all right, I had a good run. Doing this shit full time for 5 years. Is what it is, man. I guess it's done. But then actually, my editor, who's now my editor, came to me and said, look, you just need to shut the fuck up, stop engaging with the trolls. He was 100% right. And just make content, man. Just do your thing. And I did. I listened to him. I did. And I ignored the trolling. And I tried some different shit, too. And it took some time, but it worked. And the growth came back. What I told Cody is that, look, that happened to me. I've been there. I know what it's like, and it's kind of like you look at it, it's like maybe the writing is on the wall. But I said to him the same thing I did, man. You just, because here's the thing that it's easy to do, no matter how thick your skin is that when shit starts to fuck up, it's easy for it to get to you. And then when you let it get to you, it affects the quality of your content. Then when your quality of your content gets affected, then the people who are still supporting you are like, fuck this. This stuff isn't the same anymore. I told him, like, look, man, that's why I love streaming too, because I have this core audience that strongly supports me, and I thank the fuck out of all you, whether it's wee who's disagreeing with me on vaccines, which is okay. I'll just wholeheartedly disagree with them, but I appreciate the fucking support. You know, I've built this other audience that it's kind of like I've diversified. And I said to him, look, man, do more live streams. If the videos aren't stacking up the views, and here's the thing, there's times where there's other, I mean, it doesn't happen nearly as often now, but the nice thing about the streams is that I don't have to stress as much about, oh, did the video get a yellow dollar sign, or, you know, it adds more flexibility. And I think Cody is a talented, engaging guy that I'm like, dude, why don't you, I told him, like, try something like reviews. Put your personality into the reviews. I look at like a guy like G-Man Lives. I think the thing that makes his videos so appealing is that he could review a fucking game from 40 years ago, but because of how he reviews it, I think it makes it so interesting, and people tune into almost anything he watches. And you're going to have, not every, you know, and I've been there firsthand, Cody, where you're going to have those topsy-turvies. You're going to have years, literally. I just started getting some sub growth after a fucking year. Or you're going to have slow years. You're going to have years where you lose subs like I did in 2018. I felt like I was on a crash course. My channel just was like plummeting. The seltzer's right here. I have my tiny cans today because I'm being classy, so fuck you. So my best advice is diversify and focus and try different things. You can't let it get to you, because then when you let it get to you, then terrible people love vulnerability, and there's terrible people that also love to kick you when you're down. And the best fuck you could give them is to just soldier on. I didn't want to soldier on in 2018. I thought it was done. But someone gave me advice which I listened to, and it was the best choice I've made. Because I'll be honest with you, this has been, even though my sub growth was stagnant until fairly recently, 2021 has been my best year financially ever due to the support that I've received. Sure, I've pissed off a bunch of people and gave takes, especially politically, that they didn't like, and I'm sure there's other reasons that are solely my own fault for my channel growth going all over the place. But you're a talented guy, and I always look, another person who I consider a success is Boogie. I didn't think he was going to turn it around, but he did. He's never, and that's fine. And you know what? I'm kind of glad, because he's never going to be at the heights he was when he was at his biggest, literally. But people were tuning in for the wrong thing with Boogie. And then he started really, I mean, he always had an issue with feeding and trolls, but he was really feeding them for a while. And I was like, dude, and when he was making those videos where he was constantly talking about stuff that was just going to feed the trolls even more, I'm like, oh God, but he stopped. Not completely. I haven't completely either. But I think what Boogie's realizing now is that he's finding a different niche. He's finding people that don't care about fat guy jumping in pool. and they want to tune in for him. I'm not saying he's a perfect person that hasn't made plenty of mistakes before. I've called him out on the mistakes. But my point being, Camelot, if Boogie could weather the fucking storm, and he's had a Category 5 hurricane for the past few years, you'll be fine, dude. I assure you. And as a person who's been there where I thought that my ship was sinking, I didn't hit the iceberg. You know? Maybe streaming, you know what I'm saying? So, maybe Camelot, look, maybe you'll end up being a live streamer, dude. And there's a lot of potential there. You may end up blowing up bigger as a live streamer, and maybe you'll move on from videos. I see the support. You get great support in your live streams, man. I've been there. I watched some of your live streams, and I know you watched some of mine. I don't think he's going to go to jail. I think he's going to get he's probably going to get a fine. I don't think he's going to go to jail, though. I just don't think so. I don't think he deserves jail. I think he deserves... I mean, hey, you know, not saying what he did was right. It was irresponsible, but I don't think he's going to get jail time. But I truly do think Camelot will be fine. You know, times are changing too. Like there's topics I used to talk about that used to garner way more viewership. Those topics don't really garner the same viewership anymore. There were times where I just wanted to talk about DRM today. I don't give a fuck. But there were times I used to talk about DRM. It used to get like 200,000 views a video. Now it doesn't. So I truly do feel that Camelot will be fine. That's not me just being dismissive. And like I said to him, the advice I gave, take it as an opportunity. Maybe, you know, go in a different direction. The best thing I ever did, easily, is focus a lot more on streams. I almost chickened out with streams again a couple years ago. It was the smartest thing in the world that I didn't, because I would not have the base I have now, and weathering the YouTube algorithm storms would have been a lot more stressful if it wasn't for my live streams. And that's going to happen again, Mike Watkins, where the three of us are on there. I've talked to them. They already signed on. When is the question? Denuvo is such shit, Shadow Fox. Denuvo is fucking garbage. And the thing, like I said in my video today about DRM, getting on an even lighter subject, even though it's still fucking annoying, is you're punishing the people that are not pirating your game. Think about how amazing that is. You are punishing the people who are actually financially supporting you, and indirectly incentivizing people who may have not pirated the game to be like, fuck their DRM. I want the game, but fuck their DRM. I'm going to pirate it and not pay money to them. But numbers. Does my mic sound better, by the way, since I turned down the gain? I don't remember Safe Disk. I don't. I remember the one I dealt with, well, back in the day, like in the 80s and shit, they used to have, like, sometimes you'd have like a code you had to look up in the instruction book, or they always tried DRM in stupid fucking ways, man. Yeah, the mic sounds better now? Okay. All right, yeah, it was a little too hot before. Whoever made that call before was right, and I looked up on my gain on the meters, and you were right. Yes, I've heard about the... Actually, there's a new video from Pat and Ian. Let's go look that one up. That should be plenty entertaining. I always have plenty to say about the Amico. Thank you for over 800 people being here tonight. I guess because I said Bird and Man Mayhem, huh? Anyway, let's look up Wait, Destiny has NFTs? DSP, what e-begging did DSP do now? Wait, I have an ASMR video from 4 years ago that has 67,000 views. I forgot that I did that. Anyway, let's, wait, what are we looking up? Fuck, I just forgot what we were looking up. Because I got a... Oh, yeah. Pat the NES Punk. Oops. I just had a brain fart right there. I can't. Let's see.
Hi, my name is Pat Contry. And
no, you're not. You're not Pat Contry. You are a man with helmet hair. Intellivision Amico excitement ruined. I don't think we've watched this yet, have we? You remember the remod Michael Marin yet? Also, have you looked at Blade of Darkness? I never got your Steam handle to gift it. I have not looked at Blade of Darkness. Who is Michael Marin? Why don't I know them? Honestly, when I start developing games, I'm not going to put DRM on it because of how I had to deal with it and how it pisses me off. Well, you'll probably have a more pro-consumer base with it, too. That was as much you could... I mean, look, they did some really shitty, very unethical things with how they tried to hide how Cyberpunk 2077 was not ready for Showtime, but that's one stance I wholeheartedly agree with CD Projekt Red, is they are very anti-DRM and do not put DRM on your games. Do not put DRM on their games, excuse me. So that's a good thing. Hi, Rich. Love your video. You reminded me of my uncle. I don't know if that's... Am I like that creepy uncle who just, like, drinks at, like, the Christmas parties? And I don't know how I feel about that. But thank you, though. I appreciate it. Michael Marin was a mod on your other channel. Tell him that he has to DM me on Twitter his YouTube channel, the channel URL, and then I could fix that. Or unless he's here right now. Is Michael Marin here right now? Are you here right now, sir? If you are, I'm right here. Ah! Congratulations, sir. I remember you too, so you're fine. You are now a fucking mod. Congratulations. The birds are proud of you. Alright, so Intellivision Amico excitement ruined. We did not watch this. Yeah, it's only 5 days ago. We definitely didn't. Alright, it's going to play after the ad. Why do horses fart in my face?
I don't give a shit!
That's a Chromebook with the Everything button, so you can find things instantly. From files to apps, even answers online. Who says you can't have everything with the Everything button? Switch to finding things instantly. Switch to Chromebook.
Do you think strength is a gift? It's not.
Gonna talk about Tommy Tellerico.
Ian, has your excitement for the Amico been ruined?
The excitement for the Amico. My excitement for the Amico has, in fact, been ruined.
Ian's mic is a little hot, too. You can hear it's on the cusp of clipping.
Someone over at comicbookresource.
That stuff drives me crazy. That's why when someone said my mic sounded a little hot, like it made my butthole pucker. Like that. I take pride in having crispy audio. So, like, when people say that it sounds hot, I'm like, don't know. Thank you. Extend and play.
Let me get their name here. Wrote up a Cassidy Stevenson. Wrote up an article.
There's no wall of... Admittedly, there's no wall of virginity there, man. I know Ian... Isn't Ian married? Doesn't Pat have a girlfriend? El Mecco, thank you for being a member for 5 months, by the way. Did someone else who was a member? I like showing support to members, because you guys are fucking awesome. And I love seeing that it's slowly growing. Can I get a bird breasts? I already gave you that, but thank you, Sniper Killer, for also being a member, too. I appreciate it, man. Dearly beloved, I wish to ravage your resplendent return with such rapid romantic rigor until it ruptures. No pressure, though. Oh, that's horrifying. I don't even know what that means, but my butthole's puckering again. 64, thank you for the super chat with the emoji with sunglasses on.
Article called Intellivision Amico 10 Things That Have Soured Fan Excitement for the Console. And it's a, again, like a lot of these articles that have been coming out, doesn't go super deep, but it's a good recap and a...
He said go super deep. You know. Are you going balls deep there? Why is Kirby muscular on Ian's laptop? That is fucking nightmare fuel. That is nightmare fuel. What is going on right there?
A good. It's a good thing for people to see if you are genuinely learning about the Amico. And you Google it. This is the sort of thing that you want to see because it delivers information.
And it's a listicle.
Yeah, it delivers information in a fast, concise way. So we're just going to go down through these real quick here. 10, the release of the Intellivision Amico has been delayed 3 times. Sure and...
Yeah, that muscular Kirby is fucking my head up, man. That is like, I'm going to have nightmares about that tonight.
Enough.
That can sour excitement.
That is absolutely a warning sign. The lack of...
Whenever I have sex, I'm going to go instantly flaccid thinking of muscular Kirby. And you're going to go instantly flaccid from thinking of me having sex. I'm sorry.
Of game options to play, and then she goes on to talk about it will have 6 games with it: Astro Smash, Shark, Skiing, Cornhole, Farkle, and a still unidentified 6th game. It's like they forgot about that 6th game.
I gotta say though, minus the fact that his I know I'm getting really technical, but his SM7B does sound very clear, and I like how the high end is very crisp on it, which usually a lot of people with SM7Bs do not get that. So, well done on that. Just turn down your gain a little bit, Ian, and you're on point.
They're probably hoping people forgot about it.
They're hoping that's going to be the killer app. And they said about 20 to 30 additional games will be available for purchase when the Amico launches. Okay.
That's what they say.
Okay.
And then one new game will be released on the shop every 10 to 14 days, which was something that...
Rich, can you give us your biggest moan or go shirtless for the rest of the stream? I can give you a moan. Special moan. Wait for it. Birds have spoken. Let's continue.
That Tommy definitely said in the past it would probably change his tune on now if someone complained about it, because it's all misinformation. But yeah, one new game after your initial slate of 15-minute long games is played through every 2 weeks is not going... That's not a recipe for success.
We can do the dramatic number 8.
That's actually a good point. I didn't even think of that. I've seen this video before, but I forgot that he said that a lot of these games are going to be super short. So once you get through them fairly quickly, even if you're playing with buddies, and I get there for the replayability, and I'm sure that Tommy would talk for 75 minutes about the replayability and not let me get a word in edgewise. Oh, did I just say that out loud? But you're not always going to have someone there, Tommy. And then when you get over the game, and then you play through them 1,000 fucking times, which takes all of 20 minutes. What's the next thing that's going to happen, Tommy? Am I going to shove the NFT coin up my ass? Is that what cornhole actually is, Tommy? Is that where the replay value is? You stick the metal up your butthole? I got you figured out. Oh, Rich, yeah, we took away the better motion controls from Cornhole, but you could do something to your own Cornhole. I'm on to you. Let's continue. You're talking about Kirby, what they did to Isabelle. Look what they did to Isabelle from Animal Crossing. I don't know Isabelle because I don't really know Animal Crossing. Wait, is that character that's like the female character that's next to like that there's Kirby, then there's that whatever the fuck that sticker is, it's orange. Is that who you're talking about? My butt's been wiped. We'll go to Daryl Alexander though. Good evening. What classic Sega game would you like to see make an immaculate comeback? Power Stone or Skies of Arcadia are my picks. Well, Power Stone was actually a Capcom IP, so they actually I would like to see that come back. Power Stone was, I actually thought it was fun. I like Soul Calibur better, but I played a lot of Power Stone. I think Modern Vintage Gamer made a video about the Star Force DRM. Rich, it's basically DRM, I believe. If I remember correctly, you had to access to kernel level 0 on your PC. I got to look at that video. That's actually... I may have watched it, but I don't remember. I'd like to remember all the details on it. Advice for 18-year-old to invest in myself. Enjoy life, go to school, and get life experiences so you know really what the hell you want by the time you're 30. Because even if you're... I mean, I always knew I wanted to be an entertainer from a very young age, and I'm very thankful and lucky that I get to make a living in that field. But there's a lot of people who don't know, man, until you hit the age of 30. So explore life, get educated, learn about yourself, and that's how you... And don't do a job just for the money. You rather have your mental and physical health making 50 grand a year than be psychologically miserable or emotionally an emotional mess and make your physical health suffer due to your being an emotional mess, making $5 million a year. It's about happiness, man. It's not about money.
The dramatic price increase.
I do love money, but I had to love what I do to get to the point where I could make money doing this. You understand what I'm saying? Julie B is dropping some birds. Thank you. King of Weebs is dropping some birds, and that one where I look like a creepy math teacher with just the mustache. Oh, man.
For a retro console. Yeah, there's no way it should be as expensive as it is. Tommy has said before that the price point is, I mean, I don't know how else to put it, artificially inflated. Yeah, he said the markup is huge on them.
Yeah, it is. I don't care what research group he worked with. I've always talked about this. I don't know if Griffin Gaming is still here. No one has. They said, oh, we actually did research and studies and did surveys and asked, like, oh, we would totally rather pay way more money for a piece of hardware than pay less. Is not a fucking thing that happens. I don't care what Tommy, I don't care. You need to find a new research firm to work with then, because I've never heard someone saying, yeah, okay, Griffin Gaming is here, say, you know what? I'd rather pay more for a console than less, especially for a console that the Intellivision name only garners nostalgia in a 45-plus-year-old niche. Like, the Intellivision, I was born in 81. That shit came out in the late 70s. Now, Atari was there because Atari kept pushing the 2600 to, like, the late 80s. But the television was nowhere nearly as popular, and it only has a niche market. So the nostalgia is not going to give enough people a boner to spend Xbox Series S money on a fucking underpowered console with a chip from 2015 in there. I know what people are going to say if they're the fanboys that are here. The rebuttal is rich. It's not about the power. It's not about the graphics. That's fine. But it's also not about the name brand recognition, because not that many people know about the Amico. So having it at a lower price would appeal for more people that would not give a shit about it. Maybe they'd be like, oh, that's cool. I could play some cornhole for $150. Whereas at 250, people are like, I could buy a Switch. I could buy a Series S. Why would I buy this? I like, that's not being like, look, man, I still have my pre-order. I can't, I always say that. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to placate anybody. I think the Amico is going to probably almost guaranteed to fucking bomb. You don't like it, it's the reality of it. Cry more. But I'm keeping it. And if I am wrong, I will eat all the bird or crow that I need to eat and be like, guys, every one of my predictions about the fucking Amico did not come true. It is the best system ever. There are birds that love me now because I love the Amico. I will eat my fucking words if the system blows me away and I have fun with my kids and I have fun with my family and everything proves me wrong. But I have to call it like it is from the information I received and the information that is out there. And with everything that's out there, it does not look good. It does not look good. I can't pretend that it does to not make people angry.
It's going to be 149 to 179. Yep. And then I misspoke about the price. I got attacked. And Tommy tried to say all my opinions were wrong because of that. I ended up being right in my prediction of the price anyway.
But he has bragged to people on the message board about how the markup is incredible on these things.
Yeah,
and that retailers
love us.
I'm hosing you for this shit. Retailers love us because of it. Why would you say that?
This is 6-year-old cell phone tech. And
mid-range. It was mid-range in like 2015 or 2016, the chip that's in there. That was mid-range back when Obama was still in office. It makes like the Atari VCS seem like a beast in comparison.
That should cost $120 maybe, but you know what? That's fine.
The target audience is unclear. Not a whole lot more to say about that one because that's been my problem since day one. And no matter how many 100 people, 200 people try to tell me that the market is for them. Okay, then you're the market and you can have fun with it. But the market is already occupied.
When we say there's no market, we mean to sustain a product and an ecosystem to have it be viable. Of course.
For long term, they're right. I hate Pat. Pat hates me. And that's fine. But I still have to... That would make me no better than other people that are like, oh, wow, I don't like him, so he or she, so I can't agree with anything they say. Like, put your fucking pride aside, man. He's right.
Of course, it's going to be...
I know what their target audience is, but that target audience doesn't exist. Nintendo ate it up.
Yes, it's got to be people that know the...
Gobbled it the fuck up.
In television, that have kids and grandparents, but don't play the games on the cell phone, but like cell phone quality type of games, Ian, but they may not play. You start doing aerobics in order to justify like what the smallest concentric circle point of what the hell that is.
Yeah, like, okay, so maybe by some chance the Amico fills in this super small niche of people that only want a specific kind of game that you truly can't get anywhere else. But is that a sustainable niche? That's always what I've thought. Is that a sustainable niche? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, if the system's great, I will be the first to say, shit, man, I guess I was wrong. Like, I don't have pride. Either way, I'm fucked with that thing anyway. First off, oh, Richie, just talk about it for views. No one fucking cares about the Amico. I got bad news for you. I talk about the Amico. I think every video, minus one, has bombed on it. People don't give a shit about it. That's the thing too. Everyone's saying that I'm being an opportunist. Can eat my opportunistic ass. There's no opportunity out there. It's not that I'm talking about the PlayStation 5. I will admit, there have been times like, oh, PS5 video today. Interesting. That's free real estate. Fuck it. But this is not, there's no opportunity to be had. It's like trying to get blood from a stone. Because there's nothing to squeeze out of it, because there's nothing to squeeze, no one cares. So what opportunity am I looking for? It's just interesting to, I've never seen a company run like this before. It's incredible. Amico is just an upscale plug and play, pretty much. Laptop looks like something my daughter. I don't put stickers on my shit. I'm just not a fan. But hey, it is what it is. I still have my dad's Intellivision that he got when he was 12. He is 55 and still runs great. It's probably still better than... Well, dude, it's a classic. I mean, the controllers on that thing were hot garbage, but it's a classic console, but it was a competitor to Atari, but it was nowhere near as successful to the Atari, and it's just a niche market that are going to get nostalgia to want to go out and buy it, and then you're going to turn around and be like, hey, you're going to try to sell a console. I don't care I understand the kind of games don't require high power hardware to run, but you're going to try to ask $250 when your competitors have way broader software libraries, are an established business. Intellivision is just an IP that was bought, I believe, by Tommy. I could be wrong about that. But the Intellivision, as what it was, has been dead for eons. So you have this fledgling startup company that bought an old IP that, yeah, just trust me, bro. Buy this, what is it, an 8-pack of games that even in the small print tells you we don't have to deliver a product to you. This is the product. Good luck.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
Exactly. Those extremely limited edition physical games still haven't sold out, even though only 6K of each were made. No one cares. You're 100% right. That's why I laugh when people say that I'm being opportunistic with this Griffith Gaming. No one gives a shit about this thing. Even if the marketing was better, even if Tommy wasn't giving terrible hot takes everywhere that are a PR nightmare for the company, even if all the other shit that we knew, no one fucking cares about it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Number 6. There's no online multiplayer. This has a ... yet. I would get rid of the ... yet. I don't think there's ever going to be online multiplayer. Tommy was really heavily touting early on that there was not going to be any multiplayer because it's a family-friendly system. So, you know, instead of trying to...
breaking news, I'm about to whip out the unicorn kisses to drink. Gotta whip out the unicorn kisses. Whip them out.
Figure out how to do. They hate multiplayer online, so instead of trying to figure that out, it just wasn't going to be there. Now, apparently, they are quoting a line that says, "Intellivision stated we are looking into more online gaming and sharing features, but they will have to fit into our overriding family-friendly goals for Amico."
Thank you, Turbo Express.
I don't think there's ever going to be.
I am a unit ass.
Play on this. They don't even have a web store set up yet.
They have no resources to make an online service. If by some chance this console does garner enough support to get off the ground and last more than like 6 months to a year in the market, and it does have enough of a niche market to support it, maybe in a couple years after its launch, you will see some kind of online service. And it will still be laughable at that point, but it is not going to have anything. Come on.
There is talk about online leaderboards. I love online leaderboards. I think any score attack-based game should absolutely have a leaderboard. Whether we'll even get those, though, remains to be seen.
This is an important point about why there's no market for this. The days where, Cassidy writes, the days where kids hang out in person and play video games are long over. They probably still...
Mostly. Not completely true, but mostly. We had Amico collab when... Isn't there something where there's like someone's actually made like a server with the games of the Ouya where you could still actually use it even though it's dead? It's amazing what the community keeps alive, man. It's pretty incredible because sure as shit who bought Ouya? Was it Razer? Razer ain't keeping that shit around. They don't give a fuck about it. No one gave a fuck about the Ouya. They gave a fuck about it. Ouya. Initially, it sounded like a romantic idea on paper. They even had me smitten for a little bit. That didn't last long, though.
Exists here and there, but for the most part, they're not ever.
Well, they do, and it's fun. But yeah, I mean, it's like I don't know. It's like fighting against having a phone or something.
Yes.
You're.
This is another reason why our audience will be disappointed due to how accustomed kids are to playing games like Fortnite online.
You can't go back
friends.
to the way before technology.
Yeah, and
no, literally, Jay Dizzle, it's not. Let me tell you something. That's why I laugh when I see Atari VC. Eventually, when I do that review, sometime in my lifetime, they say 4K right on the box of the Atari VCS. It ain't 4K. You can't even run the UI. If you try to run the UI in 4K, it drops frames. It starts to like buckle just running the UI in 4K. You're not even streaming shit in 4K on the VCS. What a joke. Yeah, it's a pretty one. The Pokemon Switch Lite is beautiful. And I'm not even big into Pokemon. I think it looks good.
And obviously, the other thing they miss out on is that, like, Twitch is so much a part of young kids playing games and the experience.
It is. That's true.
Well, if you don't have, Twitch streamers playing this stuff, that's a huge tool to get kids even involved to begin with. We never bring that up, how there's not going to be kids even streaming Amico. There's no way to then share it to other kids easily. That's the free advertising that you want, is that.
Right.
Streaming.
I don't know if that's that big of... I get what they're saying, but I don't know if there's that much weight on it.
We never bring that up, but that's a huge dent against a product like this. Number 5, touchscreen design of the controllers. We'll just say the controllers, but
3P3, I think it's called X-Link Kai. Sergeant Jason Bond, I heard about that before. I think MVG did a video on the original Xbox being kept alive by that. It's pretty cool.
But touchscreen, 2 wireless Bluetooth controllers come with the console, and players are able to download an app on their mobile device. Yeah, whatever.
No one likes using touchscreens in lieu of buttons. No.
Nobody. That's fat. I hate using touchscreens for games. Even if it's set up well in a game, it's still not the same. Even if it's like a simple one-button game on your phone, still not the same. I'd rather press a button on a controller to get a tactile feedback than just tap a fucking screen. Sorry, that's true.
No one.
If the Amico is supposedly designed to be a family-friendly console to play at get-togethers, a touchscreen controller will be difficult for grandparents to figure out. That's a great point. Unless you say, well, they're used to playing on phones.
I don't think it. I was gonna say, I don't think it needs to be. I think that's one area I disagree. Touchscreen is going to be, I think, a bit more inviting than something with a lot of buttons on it. I just don't think it's going to translate to anything beneficial.
It's the combination of the different things
No, it's going to translate to a bunch of crappy fucking mobile port games that are probably going to run even worse, because even a mid-range entry-level mid-ranges phone now will wipe its ass with a mid-range chipset from 2015. So, oh wow, I get to have the same experience I would get on virtually any phone made today, smartphone that is, except worse. Sign me up.
One time, if it was just a touchscreen.
Sure.
But now you have to have a touchscreen with shoulder buttons with the control pad. You're throwing all these different eras of technology together.
And the controller does not look ergonomic at all. Let's just keep it real. They were trying to emulate the original, and that controller was not. That controller was fucking a joke on the Intellivision. I think it's... Yeah, I had great memories with the Intellivision, but boy, that controller could go fuck itself.
Don't take me wrong, or get me wrong. I don't think it's a good controller. I just don't think a touchscreen is the problem.
Well, the touchscreen's not going to be used as a touch. It's going to be used as a button press.
Yeah.
Too. It's not. You're not going to be dragging things around on this.
No, absolutely not.
Number 4.
Now, Tommy did. I always remember thinking like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Now that I know that he says a lot of shit that never comes to fruition. Remember it during one of my live streams. I want to see if this holds true, and if it does, fine. But I haven't heard it mentioned since. Like, Tommy, but what about if you want to create a platforming game for your console, like Finnegan Fox or something like that? Touchscreen's not an ideal way, even if you have a directional disc to move the character. What about if you have to jump or punch or do whatever? He's like, oh, we're working, I believe he said, with like a NASA technician or engineer or something like that. Or something crazy. He said the credentials he gave this person was crazy, where they're working on like where you could add buttons to the screen that act and feel like real buttons. Interesting to see if that actually comes, because you did say that, Tommy. I know for a fact you did. Is that one of the things you just pulled out of your ass at the moment, Tommy? Or are there going to be buttons that come in the box that you could kind of magnetically or whatever attach to the screen? And even then, how is that a good substitute for actual buttons? Like, what am I going to just put these fucking tacks all over the screen? What happens if you need 2 buttons or 3? I'm just going to, blop, blop, blop. I don't know, man. This thing is,
no physical editions of the games. Suck it. You can say whatever you want. That doesn't count.
It is not physical. He is 100% right. The box says that is the product. There is no game in there. No game is owed to you. They gave you a souvenir and a fuck you. Fact. That is not speculation. That is not... there's no debate with that. You did not get a game. You didn't get one. You got a box as a souvenir, which could possibly become a game if the console is shipped. That's it. Anything else, you're just in denial about it. He always has a nerve. I've noticed that when I've watched a few of these videos with you guys, he's always... I shake sometimes, too, like I'm shaking my leg and then people think I'm fapping.
No cartridge slot for old Intellivision
Number 3.
games. That's number 3. This was never promised, and this is something that people always bring up. I get it, but this, to me, is why the Amico... This highlights... I don't think this is actually a problem because it was never promised. Would it be nice? Yes. I think what this highlights, the no cartridge slot for old Intellivision games being at number 3, is that the Amico has been very bad about conveying what it is and who it...
No, he's being kind.
It's for, as we've said a number of times. So much so that like 50% of the people who have this pre-ordered, who aren't really following along but occasionally pop up in like Reddit or online, always say, really excited to play those old games reimagined. Like they're just going to get 50 Intellivision games reimagined like those Atari compilations.
Sure.
They have no idea what's going on.
Understand, because they're not really conveying what's going on well at all.
And there are people out there who still think it's supposed to play old Intellivision games, and then they're surprised, like this person, when they find out that it doesn't, because he's never really conveyed that. It's obviously appealing more to a...
That is true, because you're going to have... There's probably that niche who may have nostalgia for the Amico. Maybe they're not up on the tech. Maybe they're just like, oh, wow, I'm hearing the name Intellivision floating around again. I wonder if I could shove... I have those old games up in my attic. I'll clean them off with some isopropyl alcohol or denatured alcohol, whatever one doesn't have that extra ingredient, which adds like a film. And I'll shove them in there. Like, I think Tommy overestimated the influence of the name Intellivision. People don't know it, and the people who do may have never touched a video game since and don't understand technology, and they may be like just getting a nostalgia boner thinking it's going to be Intellivision again, or be like a compilation of remastered games, or maybe or just emulated games. You're not like, it's so messy and confusing.
Retro minds.
Yeah, E&M porks. It's ridiculous, dude. They're
set, and these people want that sort of stuff in there, but it's not there.
As an aside, I'm shocked that they wouldn't.
Shocked.
I'm shocked that they didn't just put out as one of their physical products, not reimagined, just a bunch of old Intellivision games. Like, I'm just surprised they didn't do that. If they have the rights to them, why not put out the original Intellivision games?
Yeah, that people would buy that. Yeah, he's right.
How like they do on the Evercade, but for the Amico, I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Yeah,
I'm just surprised.
No, I am too.
Because that would have been a pure cash-in, but easy to get.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts in 10 minutes.
Yep. Number 2, lack of gameplay shown. Yeah.
That's been that.
I mean, you can say, well, they showed them at events where you have 24 hours notice to get to some of these games, but there's been no super in-depth gameplay footage shown publicly. When I say publicly, I mean like YouTube videos saying, we're going to play Fitting and Fox for 15 minutes straight.
I've been invited to events, admittedly way in advance, and I haven't been able to get to them. It hasn't been 24 hours. It's been a while, but I just haven't been able to get to them. And to be objective here, some people call it stroll man. I call it being objective. Just got to put everything out there, so because I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. The whole thing reeks of a failed get-rich-quick scheme that he is too deep on at this point. Ever since the beginning, Tommy has talked about breaking even and focused on profit margins. Yeah, and I remember, I think it was during one of my streams or some where he only has to sell like a very low amount of units to break even. Yeah, I mean, but Tommy's already a multi-millionaire. I also think, too, that he seems like a pretty egotistical guy. Just kind of the vibe I get. Where this is like he has the money already. I think this is like, hi, I've run a successful company. I was the CEO of a company, and he gets to have the CEO boner. I think that's part of it, too. That's speculation. I don't know what's going on in his head. But I wouldn't shock me if that was part of it.
We're gonna play Evel Knievel. You're gonna see all the different modes and features and different stage designs. This is what you can. There's been no real details shared about these individual games at all.
Well, no, Finnegan Fox, there was some other game on Steam that it was actually pixel art where they didn't, like, they redid the graphics to, it kind of was like a cheesy fucking Flash game now. I actually think the original version of the game looks superior. But, yeah, it's some game you could get on Steam that actually really didn't... It has, like, mixed reviews, too, so...
No. Gameplay features, different stage, like what the goals are of these games. We have that fucking Brain Duel game. We've seen nothing of that game, and that's a physical product. We've seen just like I think a placeholder text on an image in one of the fucking trailers, and they sold that as a physical product. Nothing for that game, for like for the Amico. Someone says, well, that's a remake of another game that's out there. The whole point is
which one?
The Brain Duel.
Oh, yeah.
The Brain Duel. The point is this, is that for the mass audience, these have not been seen.
No. No, and all we've seen of the other games so far has been despite the fact that they say it's been shown plenty of times, we have seen in total, with the exception of a small handful of games that honestly aren't going to change a whole lot, we've seen a dedicated commercial's worth of footage maybe for each one. The amount of footage we've seen would be like looking at one of those. It's almost like looking at one of those old Nintendo posters and picking out which games you like from a single screenshot.
Yeah,
we arguably, with the exception of stuff like Rigid Force Redux, which you can get like right now, we know
Evil Knievel.
We know absolutely nothing.
And Finnegan Fox, you can get in its original form on Steam right now.
Thing of substance about any of these games.
Oh no, Utopia. When you see like,
God, I remember he brought up those posters, man. Those posters were the shit. I remember you used to get an NES game. You used to have, now you're playing with power, and you saw Rob the Robot, and you would see all the different screenshots of the games. I remember that. Damn.
3 seconds of it, like.
Did they even show that? I thought they haven't shown that yet. But like Cloudy Mountain, for instance.
That's what I mean. Cloudy Mountain.
I was gonna say, you can't tell what's going on. It has a nice visual look.
But you literally see 7 seconds of the game.
And that's the thing. These people have got a lot of these people have gotten so dead set on these games being the system sellers, and they're literally going off of no information.
Yeah.
Night Stalker looks good. It has an interesting look. It has a thematic.
It does.
Look to it.
We know what it's
Cloudy Mountain has a thematic look to it.
Yeah.
Why can't we see? These are games that are going to be meatier than the other games. Why aren't we allowed to see
Earthworm Jim?
Earthworm Jim.
We've seen shit. We saw that meh trailer of Earthworm Jim. Yeah.
The only.
I mean, Tommy's kind of right in some ways. I mean, he kind of put his foot in his mouth when he said, you know, what do people want to see these videos? Like, how much can we show? Well, you're right. For a lot of these games, you can't show a lot because there's fucking nothing to them.
There's nothing that exists.
There's nothing to them. You can't do a 10-minute long video on Sideswipers because no one will buy the fucking game when they realize that it's just driving around in a track and crashing into each other at intersections.
Or when you realize that that's literally what skiing is. It's 15 minutes and then you're probably done.
10 levels, no difficulty options. From the words of Tommy, from the mouth of Tommy himself.
That's shovelware.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, come on. Are they wrong about this? They don't like me and I don't like them. But can we just keep it real?
That's shovelware. That's probably worse than shovelware when you think about it. And number one, the Amico falls flat when compared to the Switch.
Yes.
Price point's similar to the Switch. It's more.
Yeah. The price point was like kind of the saving grace of it. Then they upped the price. It's more expensive now than a Switch Lite, and in the category of a Switch and the category of a Series S. How in the fuck could you? There's nothing you could justify. I don't like. You playing the fun game of family slap ass once every 6 months on your Amico is not, man, I'm sure glad I bought this over a Switch with an infinitely better library of games. Stop! If you truly believe that, you are in denial. I know. Look, I get that there's some people who get like kind of starstruck because of Tom. Like this, I know he's not as relevant now in the gaming industry, but far from it. But what he's done with Video Games Live, he's still wildly successful with that, and what he's done throughout the industry throughout the years. But he's just buttering you up to be an echo chamber for this thing. I've noticed that. Why do you think he goes to... And then when YouTubers like me kind of like, all right, yeah, this is not adding up, man. I was never really on the train. I've talked to Tommy about it before and asked questions about it. And I had that interview that sucked. I regret that one. I shouldn't have had that interview because I wasn't in the mood to do any kind of interviews that day. It wasn't anything against Tommy. I was just in a shitty mood and did not focus the way I did. And it looked like I was being a shill. But you notice, though, that he hasn't gone to, like, is there any YouTuber out there with, like, and it's not, I don't want to sound like I'm being an elitist. Is there any YouTuber that's in a 6-figure category of subscribers that's been, like, has said anything positive about this thing? You notice it's always smaller YouTubers because he knows that those are people that are fledgling, that are looking for an opportunity. So they'll say things like this.
My jaw's hitting the ground.
More expensive than the Switch Lite. The Switch might do a $50 deduction at some point.
You have not seen anybody. You haven't. It's a console that's supposed to still. I don't see it happening. Supposed to still be coming out this year. Six-figure in terms of sub base. You know what I meant. 6 figures in terms of sub base. Is there anybody? I don't see anybody talking about it in that realm. And that's not me saying it from an elitist standpoint. Hopefully most of you get what I mean. I gotta piss. Birds. And I'll repeat a talking point that Ian has said before. Here's why you haven't seen, like, what about all the big channels out there, Tommy? Why don't you? You know what they're probably saying to him. He probably has gone to bigger channels. And there are most of them. I have more of an open mind at first. My mind is no longer as open about it as it used to be, but they were probably like, what the fuck is this thing? Or then if you went to like IGN and stuff like that, they probably were like really dug into like, and they're like, nah, man, we're not pushing this thing. It's a train wreck. So to these smaller creators out there, I'll say the same thing Ian said, like I started this, what I just came back from pissing starting with. You're probably being used by people like Tommy right now, because he probably knows like, oh, they're probably going to think this is an opportunity, so I could get them to be like free advertisement. And he thinks that they're like, oh, right, oh, good, I'll be in Tommy's good graces, and maybe I could garner somewhat of a following by being like featured in videos and stuff like that. He's playing you. Probably playing you. Because he knows that people like me eventually, I never was like on board with the Amico. I'm like, but okay, cool. But once like I started really seeing all the different information come out and seeing whatever you would call the fucking half-hearted trailers or most of the shit look like Flash games, I was like, there's too much with this I have questions about, man. I'm going to call it out. I mean, look at, if you want a channel that's bigger than mine, look at, they finally talked about it in a Digital Foundry video. Torn apart. Like, that's why you don't see the coverage from larger companies or larger, whether it be a channel or a website, because it's just like a giant bomb ripped it apart too. Because it just all seems suspect, Tommy. It just doesn't add up. It just seems like a failed product waiting to happen.
To get people to buy, you know what I mean? Like,
piss from anus. Noah, what the hell are you talking about? Piss. I see.
It's been out for 4 years, 4.5 years at this point, the Switch.
Yeah.
Another option is emulating Intellivision games that gamers have a desire to play. This is Cassie finishing up. The Intellivision Amico is a way to play remasters of old games, but unlike the Switch, cannot promise new franchises. Therefore, it will be easy to run out of games to play on the Amico. Yeah, because they won't produce enough.
Right.
I mean, like,
and again, you know, beating a dead horse. This is going back to they view launch as the finish line.
I think it's funny when people say, "Oh, the Switch has too many games. It's not curated." You'll be dead before you get through the amount of games that are available on the Switch.
Yeah, there's an insane amount of games, good games, let alone all the other trash that's on the Switch. You have to live 7 lifetimes to get through all of them, no matter how much time you have.
The Amico, you're not guaranteed to like every game produced. So let's say it launches with 20 games. Let's say it does.
Not everyone's going to be scrambling to buy Spades when it drops that Friday.
Yeah, the monster card game is not going to be one necessarily everyone wants to buy. Not everyone was going to buy Evil Knievel. Not everyone's going to buy Brain Duel. You know, the attach rate of a game to a system, unless it's a killer app, you maybe get up to like 30, 40, 50%. But like most of the games, you're looking at 10%, 5%, unless they're the dyed-in-the-wool people that will have to buy every single game. Most people can't do that. Most people won't do that. Most people won't buy every game. So
It's not even about money sometimes. Obviously, money's important, but even if you have the money, my point being, let me word that correctly, just may not give a shit or have the time. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to run out of games to play. You absolutely will. And that's a great point that we don't hit upon enough. But, you know, it's hard to communicate, Ian. What's going on with the console, of course, when you don't put out gameplay videos. But it seems like, according to Atari H1...
Oh, there's going to be an FAQ soon, an official FAQ.
An FAQ update that is being crowdsourced right now in the good old Atari H forums. Tommy's literally asking people to submit questions to update the FAQ. So there's no more...
What a brave boy.
No more misinformation out there. Information direct from the horse's mouth. You think that you would have had your FAQ finished about your physical product before it was in people's hands and got their money for it. But hey, I'm just crazy. You know, in terms of knowing about how RFID works and whether or not, you know, you'll be able to, if someone will be able to steal your game and put the code on your system, you think that would be all buttoned up and clear before the product is in people's hands. But like, we don't know when the console's coming out anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It may never come out at this point. I think I'm going to drop it 10% down to a 60% chance that the console's coming. I initially had it, I believe, at like 90%. Then I dropped it down to 80. Then I dropped it down to 70. We're going to go with 60 now, and I feel like I'm actually being pretty conservative with that estimate that the console is coming out. I think it probably should be even less than that, but I'll still go with 60 just because I'm a gentleman.
It doesn't matter. It's clown show stuff.
Yep.
You're crowdsourcing information about your multi-million-dollar company for your product. Like you have investors. You have people that think for some reason that this can compete with other video game companies. Like at some point you have to act like a real company at that point. You imagine if Nintendo waded into a forum and said, "Hey everyone,
yeah, it's true.
Switch is coming out. What are some questions you want us to answer about our product before we put it in your hand?" What? What? You should know every question that a consumer is likely to ask if you know what your product does and what it does.
Yeah, if you've done the target research, you should. If you've worked with those research firms, you do that. You do all this stuff. You do all these studies.
Doesn't do.
In an alternate...
I mean, as much as of a ridiculous that Crystal Pepsi training video we saw from the early 90s, look at how much research they did on that fucking drink. We believe that 25% and 1% and 4%. Like, companies dot every I and cross every T because they are machines looking to make as much profit as possible. You don't just go into a forum at the 11th hour and be like, "Hey guys, you got any questions for our consoles allegedly coming out this year?" Even though I don't really think it is, and there's a good chance it may never come out, but we got some questions. What the fuck?
Universe, or not an alternate universe. If it was a different company, I actually wouldn't be so upset with that question. It's the fact that he's asking the questions in the Atari Age forum where he knows he's free of criticism.
That's true too.
That's a good point too. I didn't think about that. That he's like the Lord and Savior there, from what I've heard. I don't go to the Atari Age forums, but
that's my problem. I have no problem with a company coming out and being like, "Hey, we want to make sure we covered all the bases. What do you want to know about?" I have zero problems with that. My problem is the fact that he's doing it.
Do it on Twitter, Tommy. Do it on Twitter. Do it on Twitter, bro. Go to the real man's social media. Go to the giant social media sewer known as Twitter. Then get back to me with those questions, son. One of the funniest things I've ever heard is in your stream when Tommy told me that kids would rather play Finnegan Fox than Fortnite or mine. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any market research up my ass to back that up, Griffin Gaming, but it's wrong. That's wrong. That's not accurate. That's incorrect. That's a false statement. Oh, fuck me.
From an incredibly sheltered position, which means that a lot of hard questions aren't going to be tossed.
No, they're going to ask him the softball questions because they're already... he knows that they probably have a Tommy Tellerico fucking shrines at their house, and they're not going to want to upset him. So he's going to get, like, CNN asking elected official caliber questions. Like, oh, we don't want to hurt your feelings.
At him.
Well, you're not going to put hard questions and answers in an FAQ anyway. I mean, he wouldn't at least.
No.
Yeah. Hi, Tommy. I can't fucking stand you. Do you think of yourself as a piece of shit? I tried. I fucked it up. Not saying I think Tommy's a piece of shit. I'm not going that far. That's not what I'm saying. But you get what I mean. The brutal questions are not going to be asked in a circle of fanboys that are just going to want to metaphorically jerk you off. And he knows that.
He just wouldn't. And then there was other shocking things that were posted here where he's talking about... Okay, here's a post, Ian. We've been very busy the past week and haven't had much time to respond. We don't usually go into Tommy's posts, but he reveals a few things here that are super weird. About the RFID. Just because someone buys an RFID reader and scans a link on our card doesn't mean there isn't other encrypted data on the RFID. What? Okay, so now he's saying that URL is going to be encrypted in some way. There's going to be something else.
There's more data on the RFID, but anyone who knows anything about RFID knows it holds very, very little data, usually a string of about 6 numbers.
So is he saying that the scanners, there's like stuff in there that's not being scanned that was been reported?
I don't know enough about RFIDs to confirm or agree or deny any. I don't know.
Is that what he's saying?
I have a feeling that'll be torn apart real quick somewhere.
Okay. People are already trying to figure out nefarious ways to beat the system.
Nefarious ways.
So they can steal a $10 game. That's fine.
Why does he always talk like a...
Why does he always do the victim complex, Tommy? People are already trying to figure out nefarious... Yeah, dude. People try to pirate games on every platform. You should be flattered that someone gives a shit enough about pirating games on your probably going to be failed console. They steal. That's fine. I get it. But before people call us idiots, did you consider? Why do you talk like this as a CEO? Like I'm a commentating asshole, so I could be an asshole. But you just. Did anyone? If you buy the game in a store, take it home, tap it on your Amico, connect it to the internet, and then take your Amico offline, then take the game back to the store and get your money back. What is stopping Intellivision from making an offline Amico system have to tap the card again in order to play the game? I don't know. I don't know
fucking
enough.
dime store DM.
I don't know. But before people call us idiots, did anyone consider this? If you buy the game in the store, take it home, tap it on your Amico, connect to the internet.
They're going to have some kind of DRM.
And then take your Amico offline, then take the game back to the store and get your money back. What is stopping Intellivision from making an offline Amico system have to tap the card again in order to play the game when the system is offline? RFID doesn't need internet connections to work. Okay. So now...
Here's what you need to know about Chromebooks. Chromebooks are powerfully simple.
Now he's going to claim that in order to get around the common sense thing that everyone thought about was the issue with this, instead of just doing a common sense RFID shield on your fucking product. Instead, he's now claiming that potentially they'll force the users to have to tap the fucking card on the console every time to play the game. Can you believe that? He talks about how FCC certification isn't complete yet. He says you do not need FCC certification to manufacture a product. I repeat, you do not need it to manufacture a product. You need it to sell a product. Okay, so then why manufacture a product if you can't sell it? Right, like
overpriced and overcomplicated. Yeah, it really is.
Why would you go into full, do that? Why would you go into full manufacturing without knowing if
you could actually put it on store fucking shelves? Like, say the FCC comes back and says you have to re-engineer and redesign this because it does not meet, it's emitting too much noise or whatever. I don't even fucking know, nor do I really care that much about, but that's what you have to go. You have to go through certification, get the proper shielding and all this shit so it meets. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna oh wait, we have to bring all the we can't manufacture all those consoles we manufactured. Bring them back, boys. FCC told us is no, like, come on, Tommy. Come on, dude.
it was going to meet the certification.
Are you crazy? To say that we're not ready for manufacturing and production because our FCC certification isn't coming up on the website is naive and misinformed. I would kindly advise these types of folks probably aren't the best source getting your Amico news.
You know what that smile means when Tommy puts that smile? He's actually like, I would kindly advise you that these types of people probably aren't the best source for getting your Amico news. Stop pissing me off. I'm trying to be nice here, but I don't want to be because my ego is being fucking bruised. That's what that actually means, by the way. Let's continue.
We could pull the trigger on the final FCC certification, so it shows up on their website any time before the product ships. Maybe we have reasons for not doing so at this exact moment in time. I would love to hear those reasons why.
I know he would probably be like, there's super secret stuff inside there. We don't want our competitors. I thought you don't have any competitors. I thought you're filling a niche market in.
Are there reasons why?
Yeah.
Man, and motherfucker, like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have like patents or the certifications for shit that it doesn't come out. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but you remember there's always those, and there's patents and FCC filings. You hear about that shit all the time.
Pulling the trigger.
Well, how Tommy Tellerico is talking is pretty surprising, honestly, because never saw a CEO talk like this before. I started watching and like, but Rich, what about Steve Jobs? Like Steve Jobs, like it still was a different angle. You get what I'm saying? Like Steve Jobs had his moments where, well, he had plenty of moments where he was a dick, but it still was different. It's not like he wouldn't do shit like this if he was still around. Come on.
To me, infers that there's an inference that we already know we're going to pass, we just haven't done it yet for some strange fucking reason. Why would you put off the testing of that?
If anything, it would make people more confident in the product too if it was filed.
This is done, all the parts are completed. Why couldn't you have done that already? Playdate did it on for theirs like a year before launch. The certification was done on it. At least I think.
I can just picture Tommy now listening to this and being like, Playdate did it.
But like, you see my point though. You do not want to wait on FCC certification because if you fail that, Ian,
you may have to go back and change very key basic things.
Design of your console. Maybe there's parts too close to each other. The shielding isn't powerful enough. You might have to do a total
hardware redesign. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you have to do a total redesign of your board and parts inside. That's not a small thing, and FCC certification is pass-fail. That's all it is. It's not like, well, we'll give you.
Yeah, you're kind of sort of passing. So you could sell them, but then you'll have to then Tommy will have to come knock on your door personally, be like, hey, can we have that Amico back? We gotta re-engineer it. Hope you don't mind. I'm an asshole. Tommy's gonna personally drive in his, what does he have, a Ferrari, and knock at everyone's fucking door.
Be a B on it. No.
You can sell it to some people.
It's pass fail. That's insane. What kind of splicing hairs are that? Go ahead, Tommy. Manufacture 10,000 Amicos that haven't passed certification. You go for it, and then take the chance of whether or not it actually passes certification. Okay, yeah, you can do that if you're a fucking lunatic. You can do that.
I think we've seen that. I think we've clearly seen that.
These are a few examples of
that could all just be. I mean, we've seen the console and with some of those events, but is it really? I don't know. Is it a thing that's? Is it just like, did he pull where there's just a smartphone board? We know it's a smartphone chip, but is there any, is there just a board in there where the HDMI is connected to it, and that's all that's going? We haven't seen a UI. We haven't seen anything. We've seen very little. We've only gone by word of mouth at events that have happened. We have no idea how much is fleshed out. It's just it's just all of it just reeks, man.
The type of real information that will be available on the Intellivision.
The types of real information.
Our FAQ will be the definitive place to get all the true and real Amico information.
True and real.
So again, this goes back to Genovi, a guy that was interested in the product, not super hardcore into the information about it, but then, oh, I'm going to buy a product. Oh my God, I think I've been taken for a ride. So he has to go to the official FAQ to find out. No. You should put out a video. You should have put out a video showing the RFID card with.
Show it working. Show it in action. You don't have to sit here and become a keyboard warrior or a smartphone warrior on social media, Tommy, or a forum. Just show it working. Just show it. And all of the speculation, all of the streams of me talking about this, all the videos they're making will fizzle away if you just prove people wrong. Why does it Sony or Mike? Because there are established companies that have been doing it for a long time. You're not that, Tommy. Then the only thing here that has some establishment is the IP that you bought, which is Intellivision. You're still a fledgling company. We could change the name of the name is just a shell that you bought. Your name could be Intellivision or Butt Cheeks LLC. Like, you're not an established company. There's no track record. You're just the holder of a name from a dead company from many moons ago. Same with Atari.
The console, activating and downloading the.
But at least a product got to the shelves, to Atari's credit. It's a fucking garbage product, but it got there. There probably is a Butt Cheeks LLC.
The game of them playing it. Then there'd be no misinformation. That's what you should have done on your Twitter account, on your Facebook, on your YouTube, if the ecosystem existed for that to happen. But as we know, it doesn't exist for that to happen. That's what you should have done. Not have to now worry about people finding a fucking FAQ on their site to find out on their product. Nintendo shouldn't do directs anymore, Ian. They should just point people to an FAQ. Just point to the FAQ.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That'll work.
Camelot raid coming through was good, man.
And have people find it out. It's
Turbo Express wants me to burp in his ass. That is horrifying. Thank you. Listening, what's up, Camelot? What's good, man? Listening to Pat and EA makes me wish CGR was back, and I remember when you went on Tipster's show, it said butt cheeks. Yes, that was a heartwarming, family-friendly moment. I'll stop with the cheer again. I'm sorry. I just realized I hate it before. Classic Game Room was the shit. I just watched a couple episodes of Classic Game Room just like a couple days ago. Yeah, it's weird getting nostalgia over that because he was one of my biggest influences on this platform.
It's lunacy.
I bet you once the FAQ is done, they'll start banning people from Atari Age for asking questions that are answered in the FAQ.
You think so? They'll just point there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding about the FAQ? You can't make that up about FCC certification. You can't make that up.
It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, you have to have the product certified.
That's just nuts.
Several $1 million of investment money.
Wasn't he talking about how they were doing like a million different certifications too? Like they were in the middle of certifications.
I have no idea.
That was like the big thing last spring. There's 53 certifications or something.
All you have to do is fail on FCC certification, and you're back to the drawing board, literally, in terms of redesign potentially. I have nothing left to say on it.
Yeah. You know, and I haven't heard from Tommy Tellerico in a very long time. I'm sure that I am on his shit list, and that's okay. But you want to know another reason why I've been relevant on this platform? I'm not right. I'm wrong about many things. I'll be the first to admit it. But people know that I give genuine takes. I was not jumping on the shill train to just blindly, because I would not hurt my I mean, look, I'm not a perfect person, and I don't even, but I wouldn't hurt the reputation. People know there's one, I have fucked up on many things, and I'll fuck up on many things in the future, but one of the reputations I do have, which I am proud of, is that my takes are genuine. And if people started to smell shill, that wouldn't be good, and I refuse to do that. Because I have, believe me, I am not a perfect human being, but that's one thing I take pride on. And one of the reasons I think I have been relevant as long as I have been on this platform is because people know that I keep it 100. And there was no fucking way I was going on the shill train. And, like, could you imagine I was blindly defending the Amico now? With all the horrible shit that's out there about it. What would I look like? That's irresponsible, man. And there was no way I could do that. The one thing that's kept me relevant, like I said, is the fact that I keep it real with my takes. Sorry, Tommy. It just doesn't look good, and I'm not going to just be a salesman for you to try to pretend it's going to be good. Anyway. Almost 3.5 hours. I'm tired. This has been an interesting stream. My jaw is hitting the ground of all this craziness that has happened. Camel, we were talking about your channel before, dude. You will be fine. Take it as an opportunity. If I got through the shit I went through in 2018, you'll be okay. I'm going to go probably urinate and stare at my birds while I urinate. Have a great evening. I will be back tomorrow with more content. Have a good one. You're welcome, Camelot.